money. We know I ain't gonna get into all that, but the thing is what what are we and realizing we're changing the culture. It ain't something that changes overnight because we could even if we're just looking at the quote unquote hip hop culture that became what it is over the course of 50 something years. So even
Mm-hmm.
doing that work, you're still gonna have to create a legacy, create a body of people that continues fighting out even after the so-called leadership or the, the founders of the whole concept of what the new culture looks like die off. And there's so many versions of this going on right now that people just aren't aware about or just totally ignore. Because I don't think we're the first ones who thinking the way we're thinking.
No, I don't think so. I don't think we're the first ones at all. We're definitely not the first ones that's thinking how we're thinking, but I realize when you're thinking in the element of, okay, no more finger pointing, how do we heal this within our own stuff? Then yeah, that becomes a really big issue because a lot of people don't want to just deal with our stuff because it's so much easier to point that finger. Because if I could point that finger at you, then I don't have to take accountability and responsibility for what I'm doing. You see what I'm saying? Like, if I know that I'm taking the kickback off of this bank robbery, I'm not, I'm gonna be like, oh well, he's the one that robbed the bank. I didn't rob the bank. So why should I have to pay the price for him robbing the bank? You should be going to him, but you getting a kickback from it. And so aren't you now an accessory to the problem? If you're getting a kickback from it, if you're okay with it, you you definitely you definitely have become more part of the problem than you become part of the solution. I pocket right
True
there.
indeed. Uh, well, just us here before it gets a little. I just want to say I have a friend right now. She just texted me, but I think I could share this with y'all. So maybe outside of this, I'll just present it now. She's doing something in the city called what is she calling it? 26 Men. No wait, I'll get all the details from her. But she got something that's called the 26 Men campaign, and she's trying to get some support with doing some outreach work with like men in the community. So I'm gonna get some more details with her. She want to chat some more, but I know she's looking for some help and some support. So I'll pass that on if you're interested, or y'all want to have a side conversation later about it.
Okay, that's so. That's so we could talk about it. I mean, right now we're working on being solution. Oh shoot. Right now we're working on being solution based, right? So anything that can add to the solution, I think should be brought to the forefront. So yeah, I think that would be a good thing for us to converse about while we're waiting for the room to do what it do, you know?
Yeah, I'm going back and forth with her now because she wanted to try to help create a program that could go national. So she asked me initially, did I have anybody in a couple of cities? Let me go back and see. Because I know she asked me about Chicago and New York City that she was trying to outreach to. She's New York based.
Oh, and she's New York based?
I don't know if y'all know about this event that she had. We're also going to be doing a march in Bushwick on the 26th of September.
Can't hear you too. Can't hear you do too good, Carlito. You kind of pull away from the mic a little
Oh,
bit.
I'm sorry. I was bringing it down reading. Yeah, she said she's doing something in Bushwick on the 26th of September in New York. I'm going to get more details on this thing specifically, but
Hey,
and then I'll
easy.
bring it to everybody.
We talking some real talk today.
Participate or
I want to talk some real talk because I feel like people be running away from these conversations.
I'm like organizing my stuff as we speak, and at some point I'll go on TikTok once I get all my wires together. But right now we can just build the room up in the conversation.
Yeah, I got us streaming off of TikTok anyway because I have us the conversation is being streamed through my live. So yeah. so they can y'all can chime in on the conversation as you want. And you know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep it in both places. I'm gonna see if I can get can I put Clubhouse on my desktop?
Yeah, that's what I'm using it.
Okay, so if I put it on my desktop, I can share it right on TikTok.
Yeah, I'm using. I don't know. Can you do it directly through Clubhouse? I'm using Club Deck.
It's called Club Deck.
Yeah.
Well, look at that, eh? You find out something new every day because they didn't have all this fancy shit before.
Yeah, I've been out for years though. Yeah. In Brooklyn.
Well, do you guys know that I haven't been on? You guys, come on now. You guys know they banned me from fucking Clubhouse. Why y'all lacking?
No, I'm just saying Club Deck goes all the way back before what's called passed away. Like it's old. It's not new. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, they probably made it better. Yeah, it's new to me because I mean I've been using it since I got out here, you know, because my phone wasn't always available when I went out when I was doors, you know, with the weather and the seasons changing. So I figured out a way to multitask using my phone and the computer.
Okay, so how do I do this
One
so
of the
I can?
guys, Bob, come on, so you can download it from you go to the App Store. It should be in the App Store. I did mine
Okay.
on the Mac. Yeah, but anyhow, one of the guys here told me about it because he was using. Because I was like, "How you DJing on what you call it?" He said, "I use Club Deck. I basically run my music and DJ on here, and then I'm connected on my phone. So that how you do it, using the phone and connecting on another two sources
Oh,
at the
ain't
same
that
time.
some
But you can't
shit?
do with Club Deck. You can't do that because you're using your main account. So if you had a separate account with a separate number, you have to do it. Like right now, you log in on your phone, and then the Club Deck is a different number. Yeah, and if I use my iPad and use my what I have here, my Mackie board, like I can put it through it as a sound source. And then once my microphone to it, I could run, I could run sound effects and I could just have it like
Oh,
that.
they got so much sounds going on over here.
Yeah, so I'm about to do all that today. Today is a perfect day. So this conversation is like a two part. It's me refocusing and just hearing people's proactive ideas about how we make life better and how I'm gonna connect with Taja and we're gonna have these conversations on a daily basis on all streaming platforms because we definitely gotta start generating and you definitely can help with this too, because if you come from this from that streaming side, but I really need to start streaming some of this information and these events that I go to and popping them in there on the screen. I don't want to do nothing where I got to edit it later. I just want to do the live streaming.
That's it.
Services. If I'm gonna play people's music, I could do it during the show.
I ain't editing. I ain't doing none of that shit.
Just keep it consistent. So. Yeah, no doubt. And, one of the things that
What are they
what
doing
the
out
game I
there?
we did is a lot of gaming events, right? How you doing, Amanda? We set up. You set up a station that was a live station, so people can, if you interview somebody, they can just come right to that station. Like, so if you have when you go to a venture, you can set up a booth. You can set up a live booth where people can just come over and talk live, and you can see it. Especially when we were doing Twitch, we just got one computer set up where at that time we was using, basically the camera set up on like as you was doing your portable station. We set one portable station up.
Oh. Oh, did that take me over here? Oh shit, look at that. Okay, hold on. Let me go in the room. How do I want to join the room? Oh, this is dope.
Boom, boom, boom. And a lot of the event spaces, they'll just give us the
Okay.
spot. So you don't really
Now we
have
can
too
do
much
it off the
trouble.
computer.
If they already gave you a press thing, they give you a little corner or something, whatever, you put your banner up, got your equipment set up, and then somebody just step in. Just interview them 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, say what they gotta say. So that'd be dope if you can do that at certain locations or even at your own location where you just invited mad people through and did that live. You don't have to edit that. It is what it is. What's up, Lindell? How you doing, bro?
Okay, so can you guys hear me at all?
That it worked too, because fans would come in building up. Those numbers were great. The paycheck was great too, because you never knew who was gonna pop in. And again, that's what people getting live entertainment. You know how that works, man. Anyway, she looking for people in Florida, New York,
How
California,
do I
wherever
get
you
in the room
based. Because she
though?
asked me, was I based in any of those locations to be able to
Oh, this is
get that
fucking
men's group
stupid.
popping? But yeah, I would like to see. September is around the corner, but I don't know if y'all know about this the Brides March in the city, but it's her family that's associated with that. So
Nah, I'm not familiar. What's up, Lindell?
Okay.
What's
okay,
up? See,
so
I made a great business deal last night. DWI.
Oh yeah, you sold that. You sold that
Sold the
ticket.
damn ticket, yo. I felt like, it's crazy. I sell the ticket, right? And was like, I'm gonna take a nap. So I'm gonna go out there with my sister and her friends. Man, I go and take a nap and then wake the fuck up until like 8 something for some reason. And then at that time, she was like, yo, we still sitting outside. I was like, what? Oh shit. Yeah, she was still outside. And she stayed the whole damn time. Like she didn't care.
Oh,
She wanted to
okay.
see Jay that bad.
I couldn't figure out how
Yeah,
to do
nah, I
this
was
shit
out
at
there till
all.
about 10
All
o'clock,
right,
so I
y'all.
know.
I'm in it. I'm in it.
Yeah, that was crazy. I wish I would have called you because Broadway had hit me like, "Did you call me?" And I
All
was like,
right.
"Nah."
Now
I was like,
I
"Damn, did
got
Broadway
this
go
like
out that bitch?"
this.
That was crazy. So anyway, so
I'm
let's
gonna
let's up
add the
up
desktop.
the conversation. What we talking about today? We're in another space, having a whole different
Oh,
type of
look at you, hey
conversation.
girl.
So this conversation is about
I see. Yeah, you
being
went
pro-black,
someplace, did you?
and does that mean we ignore our own issues? So that
Oh, I
means
just
that we
started
only
a
talking
live, girl.
about
Look,
not
you're
talking
here for
about
a
any other
minute.
race, and we only specifically talking about what if there's a problem and what we could do to fix it, like in our own situation. That's where the conversation is, and we're gonna see how many people can come in and not mention another race while talking about you know being pro-black or whatever. And I don't consider myself being pro-black, but it's just I'm curious when the pro-black will come in if they will agree that can we just focus on the stuff that we deem is a
Yeah.
problem to start fixing our pro-blackness. And I don't want to hear no trolling. I don't have no capacity for nothing
No.
outside of
No, if you
what we
could see, you
talking
would be
about.
in the
So
camera.
that's it.
I got a question for you. Like when you talk about pro-blackness, um, yeah,
I forgot how to
hold
make it
up.
bigger.
I gotta ask this question. Like, hold up. When you mean pro-blackness, you only concentrate on what's going on with black people, and is that being ignorant towards the issue because you only care about what black people issues are? That's what the question is.
I mean, that's what pro blackness is, right?
All right. So the room, the space, the title that we was in the other space, just to
Yep.
give our clarity, it was can you be pro-black without being anti-white? That's what they was talking about.
Yes, I remember that. Yes, yes, yes.
So what we decided that in that conversation we wanted to bring up things that how we treat all people in a way where if you do a negative, then you do a negative, and it is what it is. And the problematic of any group we are aware of, so we don't have to bring that attention to it. So that's why we spun it to this because every time we brought up things that's happening in our own neighborhoods that concern us more than the quote unquote white people that everybody talks so crazy about, it's like they only speaking from a place of what happened in history or whatever happened to them personally, but they making it like anecdotal. Like,
I got you. Yeah, being pro-black is complicated, right? Because most pro-blackers want to blame it on somebody else. They won't own their own shit. Right? You ain't gonna own what's fucked up in your neighborhood and try to work on your neighborhood. My grandmother said this shit back in the day. She was like, "Don't tell me about." She's like, "The only way you can tell me about pro-black if you tell me about you fixing and cutting your yard and making sure your house is in order. So then
Yep.
you go next door and say, 'Hey, you seen me cut my yard? How about you cut your damn yard?'" If
Yep.
we, because we live in an all-black neighborhood, so to me, that's below pro-black. When I can go tell you, "Hey, man, you look, I took your advice." And I fix something, can you fix something for me? That's pro
Yep.
blackness for me. Me talking about any other race is not pro black. Me blaming anything on any other race,
It's not
it
pro
has nothing to
black.
do with pro blackness.
That has
Like, so
nothing
that's
to do
my
with
definition of being
pro-blackness. That's
pro-black.
just pointing fucking fingers. Well, damn, Lindell, I agree with you all day, honey.
From your perspective on what you took from that, and then your perspective on the topic.
Me?
Yes.
Okay, so I 1,000% agree with Lindell. When I look at the energy of being pro-black, I'm going to ask the question, and this is a question that I got to ask when we talking about pro-black. Does that include all blacks? Because there's some that it's a little bit questionable, right? So when we are focusing on being pro-black, does that mean that we excuse everything that within our system, within our culture, within our behavior? Are we excusing all of this because
Hold up,
we're
Todd.
just
I got a question because some people
uh-huh.
don't like being black. They like being whatever culture they are. I think only Americans, when we talk about being black, it's a black culture of America. So if you put yourself in the box of Caribbean, African, or whatever it is, or Afro Latino, I think they don't want to be black. We only can hold our own accountable. We can't hold those guys accountable. That's just the lens I see the world through.
But that's just it. When we're saying that pro-black, are we including the Caribbean? I mean,
No,
look, even within the
no,
Caribbean, they don't want to include the Haitians. They don't want
right.
to
So,
include the fucking Africans. So
right.
what does pro-black mean? Is it just an American thing? Is it a complete pro-black where it's everybody's included? Because I think this is where we really have to have the conversation, because when we start to look at this pro-blackness, we exclude a lot of black out in the name of this thing. So, it's where we are now. As far as me personally, I don't look at myself as pro or anti anything. If I have to say I'm pro anything, I'm pro human, because I've had experiences with white people that would make you be like, you're supposed to hate all of them. But I've also had experiences with white people that's made me say that I love all of them. And I've had that with every other race. But I've also had it within my own black community where I'll be like, well, shit, I don't know about all y'all. And then I have it where it's just like, well, you know what? If I had to be anything, I would come back this way. So that I'm more pro human than I am pro black, because that pro blackness excludes a lot out, and I'll leave it there.
So to say that, to add to what you're saying, I don't think people, I don't think any of those groups want to be black. They like our culture, they like what we bring, they like our
That's not
fight, but they
true.
ain't really got what we got. What they do, what we do,
But that's
right?
not true, right? As a Trini who was
Hold
born
on,
as a
listen
Trini
to
who
what.
was born in Canada, who grew up in New York, I'm telling
Hold
you right
on,
now, we
hold on,
all call ourselves
hold
black.
on, hold on. What I mean by that is, a lot of
I love
times
Lindell.
we, as in Black Americans, we identify with who we identify with,
I
right?
think Black Americans
Mean
identify
that
by
just
themselves.
identification, not your culture background, not anything you experience. When you've been born on this ground and you say, I'm from Washington, D.C., I'm just from New York, I can't say I'm from nowhere else. I can't tell you about anybody else's culture. Those are the people who are boxed in, because when we look at each other, we don't see the same people. We see the people that they grew up in, and we can.
Oop, oop, oop. Ooh, your service is nervous. You're breaking up a little bit, babe.
Politician. We can't get caught in Afro American, Latino politics. So when we pro black, that's what happens. That's just what happens. It's not that's what it is. It's just what it happens to us as uh, Americans, Black Americans. That's all.
And I think this is where that it's like, if we're talking about is it that we're differentiating? Because now, growing up in Canada, growing up in Trinidad, and growing up in New York, I could see that what we consider to be black, when we just talk about blackness, I realize that is more an American fight than it is anybody else. I realize that's something that going around, you realize that this thing, it because in America to be pro-black means to be anti-white. It's not putting it in an element where we're working together, we're fixing our shit, we're getting our stuff together. It means that we have to be looking at another race and saying that they're the fault of why we're systematically not getting anywhere. But if we're looking at pro-black on a universal scale, then we shouldn't have the division that we have. There shouldn't be the Caribbean is separated from Africa and Africa is separated. Because if you were to ask an American if they consider themselves African, they gonna straight up and down tell you no. And yet, isn't that where we all came from, if that's the case? You see what I'm saying?
You know, see, I don't. I mean,
I just heard a voice. What's
what
going
was
on,
that?
y'all? What up, sis?
Hey, Dad.
I I don't really think. I don't think being pro-black is necessarily anti anybody. I think it's just, and I don't think pro-black leaves out
But I don't know if we
anybody,
include.
even if they don't consider themselves black, because the black experience is all over the world. It's universal. So whether you claim to be black or not, you're going to experience what it feels to be black, what it is to be black in this
You
world.
sure
Period. I don't give a
are.
damn what you say, what you think, what you lock into.
And we talking about
You're going to
the
have the
color,
black
color of your skin, like just black, not don't matter, Jamaican, African. We just talking about being black.
or the culture or any of it, because
Okay.
the black culture is just it's world culture, largely. So, but you're gonna experience what the black experience is, whether you acknowledge you black or not, whether
You guys,
you
please
a
jump into this
progressive black or
conversation. I
not,
will
whether
share
you
whatever you guys have to
educated
say
black or
with the
not, you're
conversation with the
gonna
room.
have the black experience.
Okay, so
What
please
people
join
identify
in,
as the black experience don't mean you ain't gonna get it. If you leave,
because does
in
pro-black
America,
mean
you
that
identify
we ignore our
as black
issues?
because
And does it
it's
include
systematic to
everybody?
some degree.
Because
But it
the
is that
Indians
all
call
over the
themselves
world.
brown,
It's just that
but they black.
other countries
It's fucked up.
go by their nationality a lot more than
Cubans are
America.
black. Like, I mean, if we
I
go,
think
are
that's
we
a
going by a
failure
culture
and part
thing
of
or
the
are we going
systematic failure
by the
too of
color of
black
our
people
skin?
not to identify first as
I'm gonna
Americans.
ask that question next.
And that's where the difference comes with us finding with Black America versus Black Africa or Black Europe or Black Italy is that we've been
Hey,
indoctrinated that we
Carlito,
are just yeah.
would you think that we somehow would you think there's a hatred of us, Black Americans, because we think we're the top of the food chain and we're kind of put in the place of what we white Americans are in some capacity just because we end the last statement with Americans?
That's y'all
Yeah, yeah,
goddamn ego.
I think it's laughable because I'm finding that being here. I think it's quite laughable to people around the world because they
They
call
look
us
at Americans
American
like
and
they're
we
stupid.
distinguish ourselves as Black American. It's almost idiotic in the sense that we do that, but we've been indoctrinated and we even fought for it. Like we look at the civil rights
Black
movement,
Americans
we
separate
fought. We
themselves from
talking about we
everybody
don't want to
else.
be considered second class citizens, but we deemed ourselves such. I think the fight that was always been my issue with the civil rights thing and
Huh?
this whole African American and all that other bullshit. To me,
Okay,
I
and then
call
come
it
back to me.
bullshit outright,
Oh, okay.
unapologetically, because I feel like why didn't we didn't want to be second class citizens? Why didn't we fight to just be called Americans? But we
Perfect. All
decided
right,
to
so you're
be
here.
second class citizens and get
Nice.
mad when we treated like second class citizens. So I
Oh
think
God.
that had we decided that uh we're gonna fight for to against the inequalities against us because we're not considered Americans, it would have been a totally different fight. But we separated ourselves, and segregation is innate now because we decided that we're black, they white. Listen to how we speak about other people. Just in New York, it's funny because we be like the Puerto Ricans, the Irish. Like we give everybody else a nation instead for ourselves, and that's to me locking. That's part of a major problem
Wow.
with us is that
Well,
we
I see why
locked
you can cuss
ourselves
me out.
out
I would cuss me too.
of America, and then fight for inclusion in America. it's,
So
it's very
Calebo,
confusing, you know?
you say we as if this was something that was a decision made by like us and our ancestors, or was it
Daddy, y'all cussing me out
propagated
because
and
I'm
pushed
right.
onto us in a certain way to continue to allow us to not know our true history and where we truly do come from and things
Celia,
like that to actually put us in this position
fuck
to
off.
Yeah, but
have these
here's the
certain
deal, like
conversations
that,
going
you and I
forward?
both know we're not in that position anymore. Like it was system to a point where we can blame the system and be like, okay,
You can't blame the
systematically
system no
they
more.
pushed us into this corner, but now we educated enough, technology's here enough for us to really know who we are. But we so far past that now, and as Black Americans, meaning that we contributed so much to creating what America is today. That it would not be much culture. A lot of things wouldn't be without Black people in America. So we have
Well,
every
I mean,
right
that's
to
understandable.
consider
I
this.
don't. I think that this is a separate conversation in a sense because like, for instance, I've always told y'all I am American. I am not an African American. There's nothing African in my lineage. There's nothing African about me. So I always tell y'all
Right.
like I'm American. So
But you
I get
know
what you're
that's not
saying.
true, Dad.
That is absolutely true. Since I
You
was
know what I'm
saying
saying?
to you earlier,
Like
when I heard your voice, I came in. I was like, "Oh, is that? Yeah, that is absolutely true." See, I can chase my lineage back. A lot of people can't.
hmm and even if and until you can, I think it's fair to still call yourself a goddamn American because you're a citizen of America, and until you find something else out or until you identify legally by something else, I don't think you should call yourself anything but. And going to your point about who advocated for it, the Black Caucus advocated for us to be considered African Americans, and that happened in
Yep.
our
Yeah,
lifetime.
Yep.
So, what I mean, there were
it
people
was
who
a, it
I
looked
was
got a
at that
question
a.
and
for you
said,
guys, real quick. You and
who
Dak and
did that?
Carlito. I got one for y'all.
Mhm.
So I've learned that other cultures, and this is what I learned when I've been around the United States, just the United States. Other cultures distance themselves from America because of the corrupt and fucked up shit America do, right? I own all that shit. I own every fucked up
Yes.
thing America did because America kind of kept me
Yeah,
safe
because
in a way.
Americans
But
like
I
white
watched
people, huh?
people take the benefits of America and say, no, I'm Caribbean, or I'm African. I don't fuck with them Americans and the fucked up shit, but they still keep them safe. So
Exactly.
I still see that you use what America do for you, but you own your culture as hold the fuck up, man. I gotta own America, all the fucked up shit they do. I can't run from it. So you can distance
Exactly.
yourself from it because I'm Caribbean, I'm African, but I can't. So I'm gonna own this Black American shit and just be who I am, no matter what fucked up shit America does. So I'm gonna own this shit when they do something fucked up. I'm gonna own this shit when they do something great. It's just what it is.
That's
That's where the
but
yeah,
disconnect comes
that's
for me.
national.
but babe, but
Yeah,
babe, let's
that's
be
what it's
real here.
national. That's when you taking. What'd you say?
No, I was saying
Tyler?
with what Lindell just said, right? Where people benefit off of what Americans done, right? And then say, "Oh no, but I'm not American." I mean, isn't it kind of the same thing when we're dealing with our workforce and we're dealing with these things? You're benefiting from someone opening up a business, but then want to say, "Oh no, I don't want to have nothing to do with them." Just in the fact of our, just in the pro-black element, it's like I hate that, but I benefit from that still. So you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like we push the envelope in one place, but then when it comes to another, we change the paradigm.
All right, I'm with Liddell. You take it all because you represent that nation. Period. I mean, you might not be proud of the foul things that you disagree with morally, but you are a member of that. When somebody else see you, they're not gonna be like, you know what? I'm only against
We
white.
we are
They
very
might, but the
contradictory as
truth is,
people.
if
Let
it's
me tell you that
a
shit.
war of nations, you're not going to be separated from that. They're going to hit you with the same bomb they hit everybody else with. And be like, yeah, I killed 50 Americans. This is how it goes, man. They're not trying to distinguish that. Maybe they might distinguish it based on rank. Like, you know what? I get more points for hitting the president than I do for, one of them blacks from the ghetto. But it's all the same bag,
Do we go
when
side
you
to side?
speaking nationally. But again, I think
There we go. We can
it's
see
a
you.
very
I'm trying to see if I can put
few,
us side to side
it's
there,
a
G.
few, it's so many different perspectives of what black is, and it's just, it's a tough conversation to have at this point unless we all decide to live by one definition.
Well, you know what? You know when you say that, Carlito, it reminds me of when I'd met this Cuban lady. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the lady was black like the top, black like my microphone. She was dark. And I was like, oh my God, like you're so beautiful and black. Like I love your color. And she looked at me and she's like, I'm not black. I said, pardon me? I said, what do you mean you're not black? I'm Cuban. I said, but you being Cuban has nothing to do with what is coursing through your veins. Like if we look at the definition of black, then Cubans, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, then Indians, we have to start like cuz we're differentiating what this is, but I can look at an Indian man and just cuz his hair is a little bit straight doesn't mean that we ain't the same complexion. Doesn't mean that he not darker than me. Like when I see Indians or other races in a sense, or what they call themselves races as brown and Spanish and this and that, being telling me that you're not black, it confuses me. Because I'm like, so what is the definition of black? Is it a culture? Is it a type of people? Because if I'm just looking at skin color, then that should split down the damn middle. Then there's a whole lot of people that should be considered black. And that's why I say, does it include everybody? Because should it be everybody? Because as far as I'm concerned, an Indian man is a black man to me. A Spanish man is a black man to me. Like I can't look at you and say that you different from me just because of who conquered your fucking country. Because it's who conquered you is what made you different now. If we're putting it in real terms here, like is it including everybody? That's my
I have
question.
mixed reviews on that topic because I've seen points being made from multiple, spaces and, multiple thought processes and I land on my point, but at the same time, because I do respect that other people have a point, have a make great points about this, and they're valid. This question right here is just one up in the air because I'm just saying we can use the term melanated for other colored folks, and because it seems that no one wants to be black because other than Americans
Nobody,
or Puerto
even black
Ricans in
people don't want to
America
be
too,
black.
like Bronx Puerto Ricans maybe I guess, but
Nobody
you
wants to
you
be
don't
black.
you don't you don't really get that from elsewhere. Like
This
everyone
is
turns
crazy.
that down. So yeah, let them be
Everybody want
melanated
to be
and black
black, but don't
people
want to
and
be
black.
black.
For a lot of people, when you say you're black, that means you're an American. Like you know what I mean? So and that's worldwide. So I don't know.
The thing about it is that when you're, most people that adopt it have accepted the Eurocentric perspective on what black is.
Yep.
So then that's where you get the clash, because you know when if you haven't accepted the Eurocentric perspective historically, because it's European culture, the definition of what it is theirs, and so when we speak a certain way, we automatically accept their their values and their culture as it pertains to what blackness is, and then identifying yourself culturally as black is like, you know, it's a subcategory of what they've already established when it comes to that. So if the Western culture or any other culture decide that they rejecting Europeans' perspective on what black is and define themselves nationally or tribally, you know, is a result of, like I said, them not agreeing with what or traditionally buying into a Eurocentric perspective on blackness.
Yep.
Because
I agree.
I agree with that,
here is
Carlito.
I agree.
But
so it
listen, the same way you say that is like in me and my interpretation or the way I would look at things. I'm looking at the black. in the sense of that being the indigenous man to this land. Like, you get what I'm saying? So like my perspective is totally different from a lot of others. You still got people thinking that we came from Africa. It's crazy when all of the history and all of the knowledge is right there. It's all there. They just know that we're not going to seek that on a mass level. That's the reason why they allow this shit to be played and dangled in our face, because they know we're not going to do the research. It's all there. Everything, the proof is in the pudding. Everything. How many people came over? How many people they took from here to other lands and everything like that? But everybody want to still run with the same narrative of the way, like you said, the Europeans taught us in the school systems, and that's the biggest issue right there. Like they say, you can't find out who you are if you don't know where you come from. That's the answer right there. None of us knows that answer. Well, not none of us. Most of us don't know that answer. And that's the reason why we still having these same conversations and we still stuck in this whole time loop.
You know
That's
what?
why we go to. That's why we go to. What is it? Me and 23 or whatever the fuck it is. The ancestors.
No,
Keeping
that's
your
why you
damn
don't
blood and
go
doing shit with it.
there. That's
Yeah.
why you don't.
Right. But we
When you
go do
do
that.
that for, oh,
We
yeah, my fault.
we go do those things, right? And let's keep it a buck. We go do those things searching for identity. But a lot of times our identity is fucking American. We can go find whoever roots we want. We run away from us just being who the fuck we are. And we don't know shit about anybody else, and we never left this motherfucker to even see what other people do, even reference to what they do. And guess what happens? We come back to our comfort zone and we still the same damn thing. And that's America. It's sad, it's different, but it's just the truth that we don't want to swallow sometimes. And my sister said this shit to me. She doesn't like to fucking swallow that she's American. She go around these other countries and they make her feel bad. And I
Yes.
said, yo, until you own being American, then we can't really have a discussion. That was 5 years ago. 5 years later, she was with me yesterday. She said, Linda, I'm just a fucked up American. And I get it now. I said, you're not a fucked up American, you're just American. But
Because being
she had
American ain't got nothing to do with being black and white. It is a mindset.
right. It's a mindset. But like
It's
I
a
said,
mindset.
but doing what Americans do and living what America chooses to do, we sometimes we do it. We talk out of both sides of our mouth because when America do something fucked up, we like, it's America. When someone do something great, it's America. So we
Yeah.
won't live and die with the decisions of fucking America. I think that's where the problems come in.
And so then for me, it's like, so where did this division come in? Because, okay, so we're all American, right? If we're all American, then where's the division coming in? Now, all of a sudden, within this thing, now there's this fight. It should just be we're all American if that's the case, right? Now, as far as like, being able to trace back yourself, the beautiful thing about it is that as much as they want to act like they were exploring the world and nobody was there, everybody was everywhere. There was people living in Canada, in the North Americas. There was people living all over the planet. So that I will definitely agree with you when you know what I'm saying when they say that it's only from one place. I won't be so ignorant, but it literally is, right? Now, if we go back as far as we can go back now, and we look at the fact that it's from one woman that all life was created. If all life was created from one woman, then as light skinned as you might be, as dark skinned as you might be, and everybody in between, man, we just fucking around and being cousins. And when we start to take that off, because there's a lot of white people doing that 23andMe, thinking that, oh, I don't got no African in me, and I don't got this in me, and I don't got that in me. And then when they go back and trace back, some of them even have more African than black people. So it's an interesting dynamic, and that's why I say I'm a human before I put myself in anything, because I know for me, I got so much shit mixed up in me. I got a little Portuguese here, I got a little black here, I got this here, I got Indian, I got this big mixture sitting in just me alone. I can't be pro this or pro that. I gotta be pro human because of that. Because we all just fucking cousins at the end of the day, and that is for sure proven.
Well, that 23andMe shit is fake. It's been proven to be not real for the longest. They ask your demographics and they give you shit based off of the demographics that they give you. That shit is a DNA poll in a hole. It's what they use to build biological, chemical, like weapons and different things
Yeah.
like that. That's what they use to seek out certain DNA markers and genetics and different things
Mm-hmm.
like that as
Mm-hmm.
well. You have
Yep.
people who've proven that they've sucked in dog saliva and gotten test results back saying that they're from certain areas because they filled out the demographics telling them who they are. Like those companies been there's companies like that, DNA companies that have been sued and everything and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I've never
You know,
really even had the want to do something like that. I'm good.
But think about it. We've been marketed to, right? And we believe in being marketed to a lot of times. So even
Hell yeah.
America is the biggest marketing motherfucking company in the world. We the biggest marketing shit in the history of mankind. We won't even see something like 23andMe as being marketed because we want to know, because guess what? We bought into other people's thought process and culture versus, hold up, this is America. There's some money involved with 23andMe. And if they want to give us something, they're going to make sure they keep us in place with whatever they give us. And they're going to attach us to the worst of the worst because that's their perception of us as black people. That's just what it is.
Hello, Godly. Welcome to the conversation. Yo, and I didn't tell you the conversation, what we was going to try to do with it today and see how far we go is talk about, can you be pro black, and obviously we defining what blackness is right now. Is it just a color, or is it where you from? Is it what if you dark or light in a different heritage? And we was going to not talk about what any other race is doing, race, and can we talk about the problems that we have in our neighborhoods and stuff, and still be pro? Is it being pro black if we can't have that conversation? So that was just where we was at with it. But obviously, I don't police too much of the conversation because it's education at the same time. But Golly, welcome to the spot.
Hey,
Yeah,
how
check
you
it
doing?
out. Here you go, Lieutenant. So
I mean, can we?
I'll be a weirdo here for a little while because my thing with just pro back is that once we agree that oh, is everybody here black or whatever, I think then we can have that conversation much more fluidly because then we can get into what we were saying earlier. Like if we are talking about pro blackness, then what when we talk about the issues, 'cause you said doesn't mean we ignore our issues. In my opinion, no, doesn't mean we ignore the issues. It means
I think we
if we
do.
pro black, we're
I
about
think
the
we fucking
advancement
ignore a lot of
of black
issues.
people. So we deal with the issues. It's impossible to ignore them. In my
No.
opinion, of what pro black is, if we all agree that we're black, you know.
Well, babe, I don't know. I gotta say, when I look at when I look at the element of pro blackness, and I look at the movement of, okay, let's get black people together and let's get us prosperous, let us get into a state of wealth and family and community and all of these things. I think that we fully ignore our issues. I absolutely do. Because here's the thing, we know who everybody is in the community. We know who the nasty man is in the community. I remember the photographer that used to be taking pictures of all the kids. Everybody knew he was the nasty man. All the adults knew he was the nasty man. We as the kids that was going and he was giving us free pictures and shit. We ain't know that who he was unless you were warned, like, okay, if you go over there, make sure, because you know what I'm saying, he be acting a little touchy sometimes. Da, 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 da. But everybody knew who the fuck he was, and yet nobody did nothing about it. They know who is the big drug dealer in the neighborhood, and yet nobody want to do nothing about it, because we do have this element of snitches get stitches and all this fucking stuff that we came up with to be able to stop us from actually taking charge of our own communities. Because if we start to take charge of our own communities, first of all, nobody would have to come in. You ain't gonna be able to bring no guns in here. You ain't gonna be able to be just shooting anybody in the street without us handling your ass. Like, if we would just really start to take charge of our issues, yo, nobody could tell us nothing, eh? The one thing that I say right now, and it's something that I heard a young man say, he said, you know what, you want to save young black men? Put life insurance on them. You'll see how fast that they would change the way we even police each other, the way we talk to each other, the way we move with each other. You see how fast that change when money has to now start coming out of pockets. you'd see that there would be no guns, there would be no this, there would be no that. And a lot of the stuff, if we start to really hold each other accountable for our stuff, yeah, now we could be pro-black. Now we can fix something. Now we could do something. But until we doing that, and until we actually fixing what's in our house, we can't point no fingers at nobody else. And we're only making excuses for ourselves when we are not facing our issues, but then we run and point fingers everywhere else.
So I got a question though, right? Who is pro black? Are you pro black just because you black? Do you sign up to be pro black?
But
Because when you say
that's what it
our and
is.
you hold people accountable for being pro black or not being pro black, don't you got to sign up for that? You got to decide
You
that
would
you
think
are
so.
that
I
before
am
you can
that,
be held
Carlito.
accountable.
Unfortunately, I am fucking blow black. Unfortunately,
I mean,
I'm a
basically,
blow black ass nigga, yo.
how they
I
put it
disguise
like,
it,
let's be
but I'm
You
real
blow
here.
know,
black in a motherfucker.
You know how they put,
yeah,
look,
you
if you
just
black
declare it. You
and
wear
you're
a
not pro
T-shirt. Like
black
what is
people,
it?
you're
You
not
declare
pro
it,
black.
yo. Everything come down is black, is
You know what
black
I'm saying?
first. Fuck you.
Yeah,
It's black
Yeah.
I'm
first.
gonna buy black, I'm gonna promote black, I'm gonna do everything black. Now, here's the thing. Are we gonna do
Hmm.
that despite bad business practices? Are we gonna do like these are the things? In being pro black, do we excuse our fuckery?
That's American. Fucking getting over on
Well,
people. Black people is nothing but what America does. That's it. We get over on people. That's American. That's what we do.
that is not it. That's
I'm
not it.
telling you, that's the truth
I know that's
in the culture.
the way people move. But baby, that's not the right way to
I know.
fucking
I'm just telling you, you
move.
can't run away from the shit. Bad service, scamming, all the shit black people do are just American fucking things that American do.
But
It's what it
no,
is, yo.
it's not just Americans, because if you go
Well,
into
I
a West
know.
Indian
I'm just
shop,
saying to you,
you know
if
they'll
we
be like
talk
they're
pro
fucking
blackness,
rude.
when we talk pro blackness, we can't say, well, black people do that. No, that's fucking American. Stop blaming it on black people. That's American.
But again, look,
But
she's talking,
again, I'm
and she's telling you that people
I'm working from
out
3 different places, right? I'm working from Trinidad, I'm working from the Caribbean, I'm working from both sides of North America, from the Canadian side and the American side, right? So I'm working
Right.
from 3 different levels of pro-black, because
Got it.
growing up in Canada, I'm not dealing with the American experience, but I had to fucking pick a side. Are you pro-black or not? Growing up in Trinidad, I didn't deal with Caucasians, I dealt with Indians. There was still a choice of being black, or you had to pick a side. So from 3 different places, I had to pick. It's either you're going with the black folk or you're going with everybody. You see what I'm saying? And at one point, I went with the black folk until I understood, you know what? Maybe not all of us is, you know, I'm not going with all of us. I started going with people, and once I started going with people, shit changed. But I'm dealing with it from 3 different places. You see what I'm saying? So pro-black is not just an American thing. Pro-black is it spans way fucking past that.
But that's why I asked the question. Like facetiously, but seriously though, is pro black a club that you got to sign for? Because how are you going to hold people accountable for something when everybody got different definitions of it? So it's a club with rules and strategy, structure. Like what
I
is it?
don't know.
Hey, Carlito, that's funny you say that, because
I
I'm
don't
probably
know.
pro black American because I don't know enough about other demographics of their black, whatever that Caribbean or African or Latino. So I'm pro black American. So if I can differentiate it, I'm gonna be pro black American. So define me in that box. That works?
And you know what? Carlito, when you ask that question, there's a lot of people that's pro-black that ain't black. Like, and that's what's so crazy, right? Because is being pro-black just being, you have to be black to be pro-black? Because there are some people that is very pro-black that we wouldn't consider at all. And I mean, I'm gonna give one beautiful example. Rachel Dolezal. She was fucking 2 white ass parents. She ended up being in the NAACP. She lives her life as
Ahead
a
of it.
black woman. She considers herself to be a black woman. For as far as she's concerned, she's pro-black. You understand what I'm saying? Her mentality, her lifestyle, everything about her, except for her birth parents, who sold her ass out, is a black lifestyle. And she did amazing things in the NAACP to help move black people forward. She didn't just go in there and try to hold people back. She went in there, was actually making movements and marching and doing all this stuff. Now, is being pro-black just being black? Because there's a lot of people that's pro-black that ain't got black skin.
I just happen to be black skinned. I'm pro black American, and that's the route that I take. Now I have other people just like me, and I actually know some Arabs that are pro black, right? So when you say that, that's a fact. But
That's a
they look
fact.
at me as in, but you know about being pro black. We're learning and we're on your side. I was like, I get that about you guys, and I appreciate y'all for that. But my pro blackness come from a different perspective than what you see happening to me or happening to us as a culture of blackness. It comes from a different lens of how the world even perceive it. Because I gotta live this pro blackness every day. Because I can't be anything else. I gotta live this shit every day. Because I can't be anything except what I am. So when you talk about that, Carlito, I have to stand on business being a pro black American. So when you talk about is it a club? Yeah, it's the people that gravitate towards me are pro black Americans. We believe in what we believe in when it comes to our pro blackness. And we may be ignorant, and that sometimes benefits us, and it may lose us opportunity,
I don't
but
know
we
if it
stick
ever
by what we
benefits
do.
your
Just like
ass.
the white man who sticks on, I don't like black people, he sticks on that opportunity and he benefits from it. So as a pro black American, I'm sometimes ignorant for the shit I do, but I also got a lot of benefits, and sometimes they are the same. And nobody's really gonna explain that shit to most people
I just think that we close
because
our
they want to
eyes to
be
a lot.
accepted by the person that says or they want to be like, well, why you pro black, or discredit them because they pro black. Nobody can discredit my pro black Americanness. Nobody can discredit shit because that's all I fucking know.
You know what when I think about pro-black, I mean sometimes I just gotta ask myself, right? I mean, if you're pro-black, are you anti anything? Right? Because to be pro something, you have to be anti something, right? Or am I wrong? Because it's on, off, in, out, right?
I don't think you got to be anti anything when you're pro something. That's because you want to you want to hate something. But if you're pro something, you don't really have to hate anything. You just got to be about yourself, and that's it.
And so then does that make me pro-black, or does that just make me fucking like myself? Because if we're talking about other people liking themselves, then those people liking themselves.
No. That's with a group of people. I mean, I was saying to you, if I'm pro black and a group of people are with me, then I'm with that. My group of people of pro blackness are who run with the way I think and who I deal and what I deal with, and they ignorant just like me, and they also benefit from the shit I benefit from being pro black. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just asking a bunch of questions. Can you be, because if you're going with Taj's statement about people not necessarily being black, right? Can you be pro black culture and confuse that with being pro black, or is it the same thing?
If you could
Yes, you could.
change your physical look, then you could go with the culture. But I gotta live this fucking culture shit because no matter what, I gotta own this shit because I'm with you. Unfortunately, right? You can't
Unless
separate
you
your
do some
goddamn self.
bleaching or some shit,
Right,
huh?
unless you bleach your goddamn self, you
That's
are
what I'm
stuck
saying.
with
No,
this shit. Huh?
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We can't, but like those others can be pro black culture.
Yeah.
Is
They
that,
can't
you know what I'm saying?
yeah. They can't never be
We,
us. They can rock
yeah,
with us, but they can't ever be us. It's like my boy
yeah, they
said,
be pro black culture.
my
But
grandmother stole everything from the Jewish culture. What she couldn't do is be Jewish. I was
So
like,
what
God
he was
damn.
saying was like he was talking about like, is there any confusion with those people you would consider to be allies? Are they pro black culture or pro black? Because you could be pro black culture. Oh, y'all listen to hip hop. I'm this. I like this. I'm into
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
I'm
yeah. And they
all
still
good.
not
Okay,
like
we
black
have black
people.
friends, but they talking about being pro black. The way we look at it in the sense of like they were saying,
Oh
supporting.
no, I would tell you my
yeah, that's what I'm
friends.
saying.
Oh, my friends that I was speaking of, they live in black neighborhoods. They live amongst the neighborhood they service. so they get the same black bullshit as we get. So they one day realize, yo, I ain't no different than y'all because look at what's happening to me. All
Yeah.
right. So when I hear y'all talk about this shit, look at this bullshit I'm going through. So what happened was over time they came from their country and they were from they're Palestinian and it, two Iraqis that we're close friends. And the same shit that we were going through, they were going through it. Like everything you can think of a black person going through, they went through it. So they decided that listen, I
They were
can't
like,
go
shit,
against
we ain't
y'all
no
no
different.
more because this same identical bullshit that's happening to me is happening. Hey, happening to you is happening to me, and I'm gonna show you
Because hate
where
is
they
hate.
documented it and they showed us. All right, man,
Hate
cool, fuck
is
it.
hate.
So you understand what we're going through? Yes, okay. It never changed for them. To the day, it has never changed for them. So that's what I mean.
Yeah. So trauma bonding don't make them black. They can be black identifying,
Well,
but they
you
ain't
know what
black.
I'm saying?
You
But
Right.
know what I'm saying?
I'm still doing the same
They say
thing.
the same shit.
You know
I
what I'm saying?
mean, can they
Yeah.
if they the same colors as you, but they're considered Arabic, um does that make
But
them different?
that's a whole nother argument. Does color make you black? You know, that's why I was asking the question about the definition because the color is a matter of perception. Is
Yep.
color and culture? This is where it gets crazy because you got people who
Because I'm
identify
looking,
with being
I'm
black simply
confused
because of
by
their
it.
skin color. You got people who identify with being black simply because of their association with black people. And then you got people who identify with being black simply because their mama told them they were. But they don't know no
Yeah.
different, you know. Maybe
Yeah.
that's
This
culturally, you know.
You
I
right though,
can't with
yo.
you, Carlita. I fucking can't with you.
You
Yo.
know,
That's some real shit
yeah,
though.
but
No, but that's some
it
real
is,
shit
man.
though.
Real shit.
Because
Because you
this
could be your daddy was black, so you black, but you was born in Puerto
Well, in
Rico, and everybody
no,
America,
but
know
if your daddy
I
was
no,
black,
but I really do have friends like that, which is fucking hilarious.
exactly
Like I have
simply
friends
because your
that
mama
are
told you.
considered super white passing. You couldn't tell
Hmm.
that they had any kind of black in them, and they always have to be like, "Yo, but my dad's black, or my mom's black, or like I'm still black, even though I came out as pale as a snow, I'm still black." And those people fight. Like they fight for their blackness even more than people who are considered pro-black fight for their blackness, because now I am something and you're telling me that I don't belong where I know I belong. Like this
But
shit gets
again,
deep.
that's part that comes from the whole Eurocentric perspective on what black is, and that little one drop of black blood makes you black stuff, and all the other part of the culture that was
And I
created
mean
by
shit,
them on
everybody
what
got a
is
drip of
black
black
is,
blood. You
you
wouldn't be
know.
alive if you didn't
But
have it.
I mean, I'm a crazy person sometimes because I sometimes I be like, this whole shit is crazy, right? I watch a lot of these ancient alien shows, and they be like, yeah, your father was an alien. Some of you niggas, your father was an alien. You the son of the Akhenaten and all this other craziness, and it gets you to thinking that does any of this really matter to some degree, like
It doesn't.
you know, and then
It
there's
does
the point
not.
where you can't escape it.
You know what
Then
made
there's the
me
point where you can't escape it because it's the human experience.
yes. Exactly. You finished it off perfectly. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, babe. You know, that's what I learned. You know, you guys know I'm more of a spiritualist than anything else. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm dealing with things, I deal with it more from the spiritual side, from the essence and the spirit, than I do from the physical. Because when I had the eyes to be able to see where what we carry and who we are, that's when the message came to me that this isn't against flesh and blood. All of y'all fuckers is the same. You can differentiate yourself by however you want. It's like human beings are the Tower of Babel. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna make y'all, all this whole group gonna still have this same color, but y'all gonna be Spanish, y'all gonna be this, y'all gonna be that, y'all gonna be talking, y'all gonna be moving different. And when I started to look at it just from the human essence, that started to make me change my viewpoint on how to deal with everybody. Because I realized no matter how much we've differentiated ourselves. You could take my black heart, put it in a white man. You could put it in an Arabic man. You could put it in a Spanish man. If that bitch gonna beat, it's gonna beat. If it's not gonna beat, it's not. You see what I'm saying? But for the fact that I can take any one of my organs or all my blood out of my body and put it in yours and save your life, yeah, we're not different. Not a fucking toe.
Yeah, but again, and I just me messing shit up by just broadening the conversation a little too much. But when you get into all of the complexities of the possibilities of the origins of things, you get into the craziness that everybody ain't human. Some people you might identify just the same as we talking this identify as black. You might find, later on, 1,000 years
Oh
from
yeah.
now, million years from now, whatever, the history might be totally
Yeah,
different,
people
and
born
they
with
might be saying
tails.
something else, and then we all look like fools. They'd be like the ancients were idiots because
Well,
none of
they're saying
them
something different right now. Like if I listen to this,
exactly.
yeah,
So,
I listened to this young man talk about the fact that, um, black people have no Homo sapien, like we're two different beings, and like so that talk is already happening. That you have this type of man that's mixed with the canine, you have this type of man that's mixed with this. So that conversation is already happening. But if I could still
so
take my heart and put it in that fool, then this is where I just be like, still makes us the same.
I'll bring that up, keeping it in line with where do we go from here? Like if we determine that we pro black and or pro whatever, but in this case we talking specifically pro black. How do we remain entirely positive in our approach to dealing with black people and black culture? Because I'm, when you read the question, it's
Mindset.
asking, do we ignore our issues? That this question is assuming that we all consider ourselves pro-black, right? From here on out, I mean, we just got a little crazy with the conversation, but if we all agreeing and talking from the perspective that we all pro-black, should we continue to ignore certain things? How do we move in a positive direction if we all consider ourselves positive black? How do we deal with blackness?
I think one of the main things that we have to break is the stigma of what they call snitching. I think that is something that really has limited us if in a pro-black movement. That energy right there that's something that has to be shifted, because here's the thing. There's a difference between telling the truth and snitching. And I think people need to understand there is a big difference. When I see a crime, or I see you hurt someone or shoot someone or do something that is 1,000% against the fucking law, I know that it's wrong, right? And we push the envelope with this shit a lot. Oh well, if you shoot that guy compared to if you sleep with a child, it doesn't matter to me. If you committed a crime and I seen you commit that crime, you did it right in front of my face. If I say I seen Tony down the street commit this crime, I'm not snitching, because you did commit that fucking crime. Now, what snitching is that if I did a crime and I don't want to serve the time for the fucking crime, and I tell on you, they didn't catch you, I tell on you to save myself. Y'all, that is what snitching is. And I think we need to have a greater understanding on what that is. You committing a crime right in front of my face and I saying that I seen you do it, that's not fucking snitching. You did the crime right in front of my face. But now if I'm telling on you to save my ass, whole different ball game, y'all. That's the difference between the two. And I think when we get that difference, we'll be better. Go ahead, baby.
I think that's an undertone because that we just need to bring back community. That's the biggest thing, and that falls under there. But
Yep.
with the term that you're using, yes, we understand like the difference, but it was more or less like not just snitching. There's no police contact. Like that's what that falls under. Like no police contact. It's like you have gang members who sign up to do life in prison because they're not supposed to take the stand and talk. That's in their oath or whatever like that. Even if they were innocent of the crime, they're not supposed to take the stand because if you take the stand to defend yourself, ultimately you're burying somebody else. You're putting the blame on somebody else. If you're clearing your name, you're putting
Yeah.
putting the blame on
No.
somewhere else. So it's
Yes.
more or less
But
of
that's
just like
snitching.
the trust in the police and
That
all of
is
that other
fucking
stuff. But then the
snitching.
snitches get stitches come from a lot of different things. That shit go back to slavery where you have situations where, like Harriet, like, the ones who got scared and wanted to go back, they killed them, right? Because they was the ones that was going to tell Master he was going to get caught. So
Yes. Yeah,
it's
but
something that's
but and
ingrained.
that is all part of the fact that you got caught. Look, hey, look, I do a crime, I get caught. Give me the time for the crime that I got caught for. I don't need to tell about nobody else. I don't need to save my ass. You caught me in a fucking crime. I'm gonna serve the time for the crime. That's it. That's all. I don't know nobody. I'm not bringing nobody in to this thing. If you caught them, you caught them. If you didn't fucking catch them, that ain't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah, 'cause
You understand
it's
what I'm
not
saying?
your job to
No,
for me
I'm
to
not the
invest.
fucking
Your job is to
police.
investigate. So go do your job. Basically, is what they're saying. Like I get what you're saying. My thing is,
You doing it. No,
like
I know you're not disagreeing with me,
disagreeing.
baby. I know
What I'm saying is
that.
that all that like community in general. I think we lack community, and that's part of the basis of that.
Yes.
Back in the
Yes.
days, if something happened, people would give up. They were snitching back in the days, but in a different regard, the same way they would
We was
protect.
handling whoever the
It's like,
fuck was fucking up the
right.
shop.
But then it was somebody who they would protect. You know why? Because that dude right there was feeding. He was taking care of families in here. We were struggling and we going through this. Yeah, he's doing what he's doing, but he's literally taking care of this community. So him coming off the streets for some fuckery, for some shit that, whatever. That those were different conversations that were had back then. That's the reason why I said we need community. Because when you had situations like that, pedophiles and all of that, raping kids and all of those were crimes that were dealt with. If you had somebody
Yes.
breaking in people's houses and stealing and all
We
of that
dealt
shit
with
was
it.
dealt with. If it wasn't dealt with by the police, it was dealt with within the community.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. Like the biggest thing that we lack is unity and community. That's it. And we go nowhere. We move forward. We don't take one step in the right direction without community. And
No,
then
we
that
don't.
starts with unity. So
And
everything else is
unity
under
is
that
in
same
community.
umbrella. That's what I'm saying. And everything else is in that under that umbrella. This is just simply we cannot unify to come together to do anything or to agree to anything. We cannot build that community. So and that's what it is. I think, because we can talk until our hair turns gray about the issues individually, but ultimately there's one thing that we need to do collectively, and it's come together.
That's a fact.
So let me ask you a question because you raised a good point about community policing ourselves and everything like that. Does pro-black mean that we're allowed to commit crimes as long as it's okay with us in our group?
Fuck no, we're supposed to be going
No.
away from all of that in general.
I mean,
All that in
if we're
general.
going to be
Right.
pro-black, then it should be something that we should be building generational wealth. We're supposed to be coming and pooling our money together and building businesses and putting us in alignment where it takes us out of systems and it takes us out of the what they call the systematic rule in that sense and put us
Hmm.
into that state where it's like we all put our money in a big ass trust and yet we making sure
But
we helping each other.
it's a good question based
You
off
know
of what
why?
you saying because
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because
it's a good
you know
question. I'm
why,
trying to
you know
figure
why
out.
I asked you, because what if, because we talking about community
Wait,
empowerment,
no,
right?
no.
What
I'm
if,
gonna say it before you say it because I just made the comment about the drug dealer. It was okay for him to do that because he was doing this for us and all that and stuff like that. So certain
hmm
things that we will let
hmm
slide. So that's why I said that was a great question to ask somebody who just said what I said. So yeah,
Yeah, and the reason why, no, but also going further with that, the reason why I asked that is because we're talking about economic power as well, right? So if that crime is contributing to the economic power and the economic growth of that community, are we allowing it because it is advancing us
We
as
shouldn't.
as a group, although it's illegal according to the system, so to speak, that we're up against?
See, that's the problem. Like, we are,
We
how you
shouldn't.
say, viewed totally different from other groups and other races and other cultures because they do it a lot and they do it a lot to their benefit and they get away with it a lot. And it's things that they may look at or we may look at as criminal. It's just boils down to the fact that the things that we do are way more egregious because we're more of the bottom of the barrel. So the things that we do are way more egregious than the crimes that these other communities are able to get away with and commit. So let's say, for instance, with our community, it'll be like drugs and
Is
stuff
that
like
a
that.
is that a fact or a matter of perception that our crimes are more egregious?
No, and egregious in the sense of this, like white. I'm sorry.
Their perspective of, are you saying
No,
egregious
no,
in
hold
terms of
on.
their
I'm just
perspective of us,
hold
or
on. I'm gonna say
uh,
more like
us actually committing the
white
crime is
collar.
more egregious?
No, no, more like white collar versus this. Like niggas say, a pyramid scheme within a company or within a community where everyone's benefiting or some shit like that, some type of financial or white collar crime versus we sell drugs and basically harming our community by selling drugs or robbing or stealing and that's what I mean by that. Like not egregious in the sense of in terms of word. I would just say the levels of the crimes or the colors of the collars of the crime. Because you gotta look at white
Oh,
collar
I
crime.
get. So, are you saying the penalties are more egregious for the
Yeah,
same crimes?
because because me selling drugs won't get the same time that Bernie Madoff got. You get what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? But that's a white collar
Mm-hmm.
crime. It's different. They may get away with that for far longer, and it's not looked at and discussed, with
Mm-hmm.
disgust from them doing that, opposed to, oh yeah, you guys are killing your own people, harming your own communities, and all that other stuff like that because we're selling drugs and hyping up new gangs and all of this. But they're doing white collar crimes to benefit their
Still,
family and
it
their
still
community.
stands the way that I feel that
You know what I'm saying?
I know that they do that already. So again, that's what they do to try to make you upset. But what I'm saying is, I just won't say that all white people will go to that level in an argument. So that's all I'm saying is the all white people shit. I can't get with that. I can only say that I'll treat.
That we agree on, but as far as like trusting them, yeah, like to an extent, you shouldn't fully.
But what I don't mistrust them more than I mistrust a black dude up the street. That this what I'm saying is I can't like.
I get what that's just mistrusting, and that means that's just the word itself. I'm looking.
Yeah, because they have they're the same type. If they was built,
You're looking at the definition of the word trust. I don't trust that guy from that guy because they both look shady. Obviously, like I get that from you, but as far as like you like even corporate America, you honestly think there's not white men that look at you like you can't think you can't be that like I know you're not like
I don't know. I'm gonna put it to y'all like this, because what she's saying there, you know, first of all, I appreciate you, Queen, but and not a but. What he's saying is, I'm looking at people for who they are, and I'm gonna go off of that. You know, for me, I've been in circumstances where I see a black girl at work and I feel like, oh my God, all right, there's another black girl here. But that's not how she feels. She don't feel like, oh yeah, I'm gonna protect you if some shit go down. It's me or you. And I've had that. I'd say in 75% of my instances working with black women were more an obstacle to me in my job than the people besides them. All the other people that were there, my sisters were the one that was more of an obstacle. They were the ones that were trying to set me up and figure out how to get me out because I don't know if I was shaking up their system, if it's too many of us here, but it's something. When it comes down to trust, I just got to go off of how somebody treats me. I got to go off of how somebody moves with me, because I've had white people, let's say, that have really defended me, and I've had black people that did not. So I can't, and when we're dealing with this world, to put ourselves in a place where, okay, because I'm pro-black, I'm just supposed to trust everybody. I'm just supposed to give you my business. I'm just supposed to do all of this. I think that's where that for me becomes frustrating, because within our community, I know that there's a lot of blacks that I wouldn't even spit on you if you was on fire. So for me, it's hard to say that I'm completely just pro black, because that takes on a lot. That means that I got to accept a lot from my community. And there's a lot within my community that I do not accept.
Some people would argue that if you if you it's easier just to say I'm pro-human than it is to say I'm pro-black.
Yeah.
So most people just don't do it because they don't want to assume accountability for everything that all black people do. You know, it sort of goes to the point where, like Dee was making about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Do we hold ourselves accountable all the way around? And I think some people look at it like, well, you're not saying you pro black because you don't want the responsibility of holding all the weight. You know, do y'all agree or
Hmm.
disagree?
Um, I I would have to I would have to say I agree. I believe if I understood what you're saying. Um, you know, when it comes down to the acceptance of everything, you know, I would much prefer to say I'm pro human, because I don't accept everything that black people do. I don't accept our behaviors and certain things that we move with in certain places, certain ways that, you know, it's just been laid down. And, you know, it's like, as a black person, it's like, why can't I say that there's things about us that's not okay? You
Hey,
see what
so
I'm
Taj,
saying? And I feel like being pro black pulls us away from saying that there's a lot of fucking shit that we're doing that's just not okay.
I don't believe that, to be honest. But so is it Black Lives Matter or All Lives Matter?
I believe that all lives matter.
Okay, this says volumes, and it puts it there because I feel like what's happening when you try to, like how you and D, um, you come across with a certain point, it comes off as white splaining, not just
No,
trying to,
I feel like I'm
how you
people
say,
splaining.
get a point that you saying like, oh, the human experience is the human experience, because you can make that point without making certain points, because it can be perceived as still putting us down and putting some on a pedestal at the same time, and it comes across as like white splaining in a sense.
And you know, I
So
don't agree with that, because I look at it as people.
yeah, but you don't say that. You don't say like, listen, my thing is this. I gotta protect myself when I walk out the house. I'm not trusting anybody as I'm walking down the street. I don't know these people. Motherfuckers are crazy. You ain't saying it like that. You give examples of.
That's my point. That's what I was just
But
alluding
why?
to.
But why? Why can't I give examples? Because I have 1,000 different scenarios on different communities. Like,
No, that's fine. But when
because
you
I
do it,
haven't been closed in. You see what I'm saying?
you gotta understand what the perception is when you do it. It's not about what your intent is. It's about what the perception is.
And
And the
anybody that
perception.
thinks that I'm white splaining,
No, but Taj, you
to
gotta
me
understand the point.
personally, I
I
think
know
that you
you.
got a fucking chip on your shoulder. It's a chip.
No. Just like me and you having this conversation right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know where we stand. So I'm just speaking off the point of a perspective. Like you know how we sometimes we tend to overly explain when we're trying to get our point across. We
Mm-hmm.
continue to go down the same hole, but what we don't realize what we're doing is we're drawing a totally different conclusion. Now we know what y'all saying. That's what I'm saying. We understand what y'all saying. Like you even said, listen, it's a human experience because we all feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
You can ask all of us the same question, Janae, Penny, everybody in here. If you're walking down the street and they're gonna say, "Who are you more worried about? Oh, that white guy right there, or that black dude right there?" People will be like, "Yo, listen, I'm in the Bronx. I'm on 149th Street. I'm, yeah, shit, I'm worried about this, like or whatever, like that." Or you just gonna
Shit,
have
I'm
people
worried
like,
about
"Listen,
everybody.
I'm worried about everybody.
That you said exactly. Hey, Janae, you said exactly what I was saying earlier. It's based on your experience. If I'm in the South and I'm in an area where they say, don't go down to that part of Buckhead because it's a white predominant area and they be acting up, then when I go there, I'm gonna be concerned more about the whites. But if you tell me, yo, and when you go to Brownsville, there's no white people predominantly in Brownsville, so my fear level will be on who's the fear. Not, it has nothing to do with the race at the time. It's basically about who I'm aware of that is about to do some bullshit. That's the point I be trying to make, and people keep trying to act like I'm making an excuse for white people. It's like, no, it's not. I just know in certain areas in New York City, I'm never worried about a white person doing
That's what
anything
I'm saying. You remember we talked about this
physically
offline.
though. Now, if you go to the racial, like money and all that, yes, okay, that's the part that. But we don't be having that conversation. It'd be two different conversations that people add in. So now I'm starting to learn. Like, let me be specific about what I'm talking about, so that I don't never get. So we don't mix it all together.
Because if we're dealing with people, that's one thing. If we're dealing with systems, that's a different ballgame.
But that's what I'm saying. But like, even if you mean that, like, we could be talking, we could be not being like what New York sound like. Like Taj knows, she knows Brooklyn, she lives out here. But let's say, for instance, she was just Canadian, like, she ain't never been in New York or whatever like that. She can have the same exact experience in Toronto that we can have in throughout the five boroughs, but she doesn't necessarily know exactly what you're saying and what your experience is because she hasn't experienced that. So that's what I'm saying. Like when it comes to at times when we're talking about things, I think like I think we need to get as close to the surface as possible with a point, especially when it gets to things like this, when you know if you say one thing, the conversation is going to veer off into something that you're not saying at all, and then you're caught in a corner re-explaining yourself all day because people are not hearing you, not knowing that you're just getting dragged down that rabbit hole because their perception of what you said is just that. And some people is like, first impression is the lasting impression. It's not going to change. So that's the reason why at times I try to do, and I just learn again, like as we go along in my communication skills. Janae, Carlito, D, certain things trigger certain people in certain ways. So, I just won't say them or I find another way to get that point across. Not to cause that. Now that's
Now,
offline.
fuck
That's
that
something.
show. I choose
But,
violence every time, that. You know that.
yeah. But now what I'm
Yeah,
saying
me
is like
too.
I'm
I
choosing violence every fucking time. You
but I
want to
chose
be
violence
mad,
every
be
day from
mad. You
now
want to say I'm white splaited, fuck it. Then so be it.
on.
Whatever.
I doesn't nah, because
I'm
it's
not
like
fighting
this.
nobody
This is
no
what I'm
more.
saying. This is what I'm saying. It's like this. When you like for instance when you say like at the job and you use like to say like, oh, this person did me dirty, but this person did me good. It's like that, and it's like when you do that, that's how it comes
Yeah,
across
because
to
then they
people.
mad when I say that when I say that I gotta watch out more for fucking black women at work than I gotta do for white girls at work. I know white girls be shady and shitty and all of that. I know that they do. But I'm not looking at you as a fucking safety net. I'm not looking at you as my community. I'm not looking at you as like, oh shit, you look like
Exactly.
me. We might be fucking cousins somewhere down the line. But for the fact that I got to worry about you on top of them, that's where I'd be like, what the fuck is the problem? I shouldn't have to
But
worry about my back if I see
No,
you, if
no,
that's
no,
the
no, no,
case.
no, no. You should, but that's what I'm saying. That's a great point. I understand. It's almost like G said. There's certain things I'm not going to focus on. Like we was talking about when Vel was in here before, and
Mm.
we was talking about certain things, and it's like, nah, that's it's not on my radar of focus at this moment because I'm already expecting that. I'm already going into this job not expecting to be supported by those people and knowing that all kinds of other things can occur and they ain't never gonna have my back. That's already expected. But I have a different expectation of you because we supposed to be skin folk, and all that. I
You would
understand what
think
you're
so.
saying. That's because that's what you're saying. That's all you're saying.
Yes,
But
sir.
I'm just trying to tell you, you got to understand the limited thinking or limited mind of certain individuals. Once you start to bring in race and try to explain it like that, that's what it comes off against as white splain. That's what I'm saying. Like
but
you gotta
you know
understand.
that
So
And that's unfortunate just because of the fact that there's so many different, when you're dealing with a multicultural community, there's so many different people that I've seen as allies and the things like I can go into every single one from Spanish to black to white to Indian. I can go across every race and be like, I've had an ally and I've had a fucking snake there. That's why I stopped looking at it in a just black and white essence, in a them me essence. I started looking at it in a human being essence because I realized it is a human condition. It is not a black thing, white thing, Indian thing. And so, when people say that, like, I mean, when the Black Lives Matter thing, was people pissed off with me? I do believe that Black Lives Matter. But I believe that everybody's fucking life matters because guess what? Even when an orangutan loses his baby, it fucking cries. The real tears comes out of goddamn orangutan's eyes. So
Wow,
for me, it's like everything that loves anything feels. So once we move in that essence, you know what I'm saying? I'm down for everything, even if I don't like everything.
Go ahead, Janae, but I'm just stuck on why she
Sorry,
had used the
Janae.
animal. I'm just, why you
Hey,
had
I
used
just
the
came up
animal.
because y'all mentioned my name. I didn't know what y'all was talking about.
Oh no, I was just making a comment about choosing violence in other communication, like how I triggered certain individuals. So I'm just going to refrain.
No, you don't gotta refrain from anything. I mean,
I'm going to refrain from like having this
your
type of
opinion is your opinion.
dialogue with you because
because you're violent. No, yo, yo.
you
No, but that,
Actually,
that that's the Virgo in that. I know that's a fucking Virgo. Yo, they are between the Virgos and the fucking Libras. I don't know who likes to play devil's advocate more. They like to push the envelope just to see how
The
far
Libras,
is your scope of
Libras like to
thinking.
play devil's
It gotta
advocate,
be
and
the
I don't.
opposite because
Absolutely, I know
we
way
do
too
it
many
in
of
a
y'all.
positive. We do it in a way where we're actually bringing forth knowledge, not to troll or to get to
Nah,
rage
it's
bait.
always to spark the mind. Like I want to see. It's all about testing your intelligence. You see what I'm saying? So I know when you guys do it, it's because like I don't want you to be rigid in one way of thinking. I want you to expand your mind and open up your scope. So that's why I love debating with fucking Virgos and I love debating with Libras because I mean, I might get pissed off in the conversation, but I'm going to be left with so much to think about while I gave you something to think about that when we come back together, we having a whole new conversation expanding on those thoughts. So I appreciate you guys a lot.
Just back to the original comment, like I don't worry about nobody, but I walk down the street. Hey, y'all may think I'm crazy or whatever, but I don't. I've always walked through everybody's neighborhood. I've always went wherever I wanted to
Yeah, I've
go
never
by
been stressed
myself.
about
Have
that
I had
shit.
issues? Yes, I've had issues, but I was never worried. I never put my head down. And I don't walk around and I don't live my life in fear or concern or
That
anything
part
like that.
right
That
there.
is a unnecessary
Yep.
how you say uh
Unnecessary problem.
unnecessary pull on my nervous system.
Yes.
So I
Are
try
we
to
still having a conversation from the other day?
well, I guess it was I guess it got brought up or not, but it was like they just want to know is being pro-black, do we are we ignoring the issues that we have in our community? Like, are we just it's black everything, but like I guess in a sense, because Taj was saying like, am I supposed to support this black business and not go across the street, even though they nicer to me over there, and these motherfuckers in here they ain't never got nothing, but they always mean or there's always an issue. Am I supposed to continue to go here because it's a black business? So I'm things of that nature. Like, are you supposed to like?
No,
Is
I
this
support black business first. If I'm
until further
disrespected, then
notice,
I'm.
right? Yeah,
Huh?
until further notice, right?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm disrespected, then I'm never coming back. But that goes for any kind of business at all, right? If an Italian restaurant disrespects me, I'm never coming back.
Facts.
It doesn't matter if you purple, black, polka dotted, or whatever.
Human.
Um, that goes for big business, small business, whatever kind of business. So,
with
but I
that
agree
said,
with
can I
Taja
ask you?
one thing, huh?
No, I want to hear what you agree with because I was going to ask you a question
The
regarding.
one thing I do agree with, and I've been down here, I've been in and off the phone, but um, I've never worked with another black woman and not been on edge. I don't know why that is,
I don't
but
know.
black women in the
I
workplace
don't know why it is,
tend
but
to
it is a
be
thing.
they tend to be a dog eats dog type situation. Now, I don't have any in my department currently, but I have worked in some spaces where
I gotta
the
watch
group
out
is
for you more
predominantly
than
black.
fucking
There'll be
them.
one that like she mind her business, keep her head down, do her work, whatever.
Yep.
But
Then the
as
rest of
far
them
as
bitches.
otherwise, it's like there's competition, and there should be no competition.
No.
And people be up and not to say like white women don't do it either, but I, regardless of such, I don't know why people, and particularly women or black women, whatever, we can't mind our business and just work with each other. But I don't know.
I
It
think
seems
it
to be
just
weird.
stands out more because we expect it from others. That's the whole thing, I think, is that's the reason why it stands out so much, is because you're not too concerned about something that you already expect to happen to you from somebody. Like, oh, if I'm coming out the store and I know this guy trips everybody coming out the store, I already know he gonna try to trip me. Like, I'm not concerned about that. I'm gonna step over it, whatever. But I know he gonna try to trip me already when he come out the store. Now, if somebody threw a water balloon, I wasn't expecting you to throw that water balloon, so of course it's gonna have more emphasis on it because you're already
Yes, it is.
expecting that from the other side. It's just that you would hope, we have hopes and expectations of what we should expect from skin folk. Like, you know what I mean? So
I have no expectations of either one, to be honest, because
I got.
it's just in people in
I
general.
agree.
Everybody is innately,
well,
Fucking
I was just
human.
saying that to make a point, not saying
It's
directly
a
because
human thing,
everybody
y'all.
can
This is not
everybody is
a.
for themselves regardless. I'm just saying in general, it's like,
It's a
you see,
human thing.
you're not directly looking like, okay, for them to act exactly like what you expect already coming in. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I don't know. And I'm gonna be honest. Whether they, well, I don't care what color they are. I expect women to be women. I expect
I
women to be
expect women to
catty.
be
Well,
I
that's
just
catty
what I'm
and
haven't.
fucked
saying.
up.
I'm with you,
So
but I
Yes,
expect
Janae.
black
Yes.
women to be, and
Go ahead,
I'd be
Mike.
shocked. I'd be shocked as fuck when men talk crazy. Like when men are gossipy or whatever, it shocks me every time. But now I'm learning just to expect the worst out of everyone because you just never know, right? What's happening, and then just never be shocked. That's all for me personally. And you just never,
Yep.
and when something good comes of it, just be grateful and hopeful, like that it's a real thing. But other than that, out of people, I don't expect much. I don't care where you come from, what you do, or whatever. I don't know.
And that's why I
So I
say
got a question.
that's sorry, Carlito. That's why I say it's a human thing because I agree with Janae in that completely. I watch everybody. I don't give a fuck who you are. I even watch kids. If you could be 2 years old, I'm looking at you sideways. Look, hey, look, until you prove me that you ain't that, I'm looking at everybody.
Hmm.
So let's assume we all pro-black here, and
Yeah.
going on this question is pertaining to what y'all mentioned about the black business, supporting black business.
Period.
Is it is it a pro-black person's responsibility to
That's what's
tell
up,
that
Uzi. If you want to
black
come up and
business
talk,
that you
you
was
free to come
supporting,
up.
once supporting, who treated you poorly or did bad customer service or whatever? Is it a pro-black person's responsibility to notify that black business
Oh
that
yes,
they
you.
failing
I
at
read the first
being
word saying I'm at
pro-black
work
if
and
they present
totally
themselves to
ignored
be
that. But
such?
we
And how do
type
you do that?
away. I'll share your
Um,
part.
so I've had I've had a couple, and sometimes like it's there's a burger spot in Westfield. The food, I had great expectations of it. I had horrible experience as far as customer service, and when I did
Thank
have
you,
the
honey.
opportunity, originally I didn't have the opportunity to meet the owner when the experience happened, and it was not even just once. That it happened 3 times to me, but it just came into alignment that I had met the owner in a separate occasion. And I told him he was promoting, just in conversation, promoting his business. And I pulled him to the side and I said, I just want to let you know that I have went over there by your business. I said, I don't know if this matters to you. I said, but I did not have the
A
best
good experience.
experiences with those places. I said, I really do look forward
Mhm.
to
I be telling.
your kind of, to enjoy your spaces and things like that. The concept is amazing. I had a great time. So he cared. He genuinely cared. Now, did he change it? I don't know. I'll look forward to maybe going back one day. Because he was open. Now, if he would have met me with like vitriol, then I would have been like, you know what, fuck you. Like you don't care, neither do I. Like, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like,
Yep. I
but people
agree.
gotta be open to it if that's the case. And I would tell a black business that before I would tell a. I'm be honest, because I'd rather support my black dollar than somebody else. Does that make sense? Does that
Yeah,
answer your question?
yeah, that makes sense. I'm laughing. I'm gonna say something, but I don't want to wake something up and bring some energy to it. But Carlito, Janae, if y'all minds is where my mind is at right now, y'all peeping the scenery and you got your phone in your hand, you might be thinking what I'm thinking right
No,
Man, let it go, man. Let it go, man. Let it
yeah.
go.
now. You feel me? You
I
feel
want
me?
to hear
So
it
You
look,
all.
let
Let
it
it
you
go.
might as well
No,
put it
no,
out there,
no,
damn
no,
it. Cause I don't
no,
know.
no,
You ain't
no,
called
no.
my
Look,
fucking
I'm
name. I
not.
wanna know.
Because Renee said we don't bring that type of energy when we talk about our folk. Like, you get what I'm saying? We focus on what we need to focus on.
No, tell me, because maybe I said some shit and.
No, I ain't about saying nothing. I just said, look at like if you had your phone, if you looking at your phone, that's what I was saying.
Oh, I was downstairs. It is
We
what
gonna move
yeah.
forward with the conversation, Carlito, because
Oh, you
we
think our
ain't
friend
gonna
is back?
goddamn
But I told y'all that the other day. I focus on my own first, right? I in any situation, I'm making sure mine is taken care of. But that's just me being me. Like,
Nah, I
you
feel
know.
you. I feel you. That's the
I
reason
No,
mean,
why now is
am
do
I
not.
I
gonna?
expect the same of others? No.
Nah, not
And
at
I
all.
mean, look, am I gonna support a black business over if I had to go down the road and I see all of these businesses, I'm still gonna gravitate towards mine before I gravitate towards anybody else. Right? I'm gonna give you the opportunity first. Right? So, like for example, where I used to go get my nails done by an Asian shop. So for three and a half years, this is my nail tech. You know what I'm saying? I done made stuff for her. We got each other's phone number. I'm feeling like we connected. She went out of town and nobody in the shop would service me. Right? So, all right, cool. I said, well, you know what? I'm going to go and I want to deal with a black female. So I ended up finding a few different people, right? I found an Indian girl. I found different cultures, but then I found this black girl. Now, when I first started with her, it's been about a year, going on two now. Um, Initially, because I had to think about the amount of time that I had given that other girl to get my nails right, because I realized that we're hard on each other, and that I will say, right? So I gave this woman almost 3 years to get my nails right. So that when I went in there, I just sat there and she just did my stuff. And that's how we were able to have a conversation. But then when we first go to each other, there is this element of us acting as if there's an entitlement. Like you're supposed to be this. You're supposed to maybe give me a discount. You're supposed to. So then there's an element of not moving with each other in the same respect as we might move with someone else. And I had to think about it. I'm like, I need to make sure that I still give this young lady the same amount of leeway and the same amount of time to reposition herself, fix herself, and get it right so that she could take care of me so that when I walk in, it's that same reception. You see what I'm saying? But now, if I were to just take that hard pass with her because maybe she messed up a 1-2 time, then I'm not moving in the right element. So I think that's also something that we have to wake up to, is that when we go in and we're dealing with each other, we also move a certain way with each other that may not be as to the high standard as we put other people.
You
I
give other
agree.
people more leeway.
Um, oh, I didn't hear what he said.
Hey, now you can go ahead, baby.
I would say I agree. I think that I say all the time. I see it in how we talk to each other and everything. I feel like we sometimes expect the worst out of each other, a more, I mean, and present that when dealing with each other in everyday basic conversations. Um, I don't know. I've never walked in, and I mean, I've been in the army where it's men, women, black, white. I've never assumed. You know what? I'm not gonna say I've ever assumed that I was gonna have a harder time with the black woman than the white woman because I feel like white women give you just as hard of a time. But I think that I was treated that way. You know what I mean? Like I just was on the phone with a black woman handling some business. And as soon as I heard her voice and I knew she was black, like I was vibing, like, okay, well, thank you. You know, like it's just that type of thing. Like I tend to, me personally, it's not, that doesn't mean it's everybody. I tend to feel more comfortable, right? Can relate to this person in some sort of way when it's a black woman. But I think that a lot of times when it's black people, we show a lot more respect for others because they are other. We change our tone to soft, a certain form of softness when it's others. And I definitely will say, and no disrespect to nobody in the room, black men are definitely harder when they have to address a black woman than they would be any other group of women. They tend to have a different softness to, and it's not saying this is all, and it shouldn't be by far all, but a large amount, yeah. Like it's like they don't even see you as that soft, your lady. Like it's they handle you instead of being soft with you. So I definitely think that we ignore.
Well, that's something to
I
wake
think
up.
being pro-black should not
AD?
ignore our issues because if you're pro-black, you should be able to speak on our issues as well
I think that's how we could wake up there, D.
as only to focus on pointing outward. But I think sometimes the issue is inward too.
We got to go inward. I love that. I love what you just said there, Queen, because I know that when we go inward and we start having these conversations, why are we so hard with each other? I mean, there's definitely, a pulling apart of the family. You know what I'm saying? Was there a separation between us? Yeah, there was. Now, what are we going to do to make sure that we bring it back? I think the thing with all of the issues that we might face in our community, that we might face in our households, it's not just about us ignoring the issues. It's about we know the issues. It's what are we going to do with them? How are we going to get around them? And how are we going to be able to have that conversation with each other and be able to call each other out in those times without us treating each other like we're enemies? I'm supposed to be able that, if I see you as a sister moving kind of crazy, I'm supposed to be able to come to you and be like, yo, sis, you tripping. Like right now, you wilding out. I'm not supposed to come to you and say, hey, sis, you wilding out, and then you turn on me. You see what I'm saying? Because then that's when the issues, we start turning them on ourselves. So I think if we're going to start to deal with the issues that we have, because we do got them, we can't ignore them. And the reason why we ignore them is because when we come to each other with it, it could be smoke.
And I also think what's up, Ned? I also think that stereotypes are stereotypes, but when we keep the stereotype going, like
We
as
stereotype
if
against each other hard too.
like we don't have control of it. So let's just say somebody says, just because somebody has a black-owned business, that don't mean you deserve a discount. So those are the things that we have to understand. Like people should want to put more into you because they know you working 10 times harder. Same thing like as a woman. I don't totally agree with Net, but I will say different personalities of a black woman or any kind of woman. Again, I don't speak to that many different type of other women. Normally, I'm only attracted to the ones that I am. But even with black women, normally I'm only attracted to the soft ones, the ones that I speak to equally. So I understand what she's saying, but I could understand if you had somebody that was talking to you crazy or trying to talk to you because I'm black and they black and they trying to give me the hood type of way, and then now I gotta like go a little more hood and be a little more harder because she's speaking with doing her Harlem thing or whatever. I get it, like how that could come across, but I don't think across the board that I think that we adjust to these situations accordingly. If I go to a restaurant and I get, especially you go to the Jamaican restaurants, automatically they just not gonna be all sweet and cute to you all the time. Sometimes I get some Caribbean women that are calling me, you know, that be a little more polite and nice to me. But again, I have to say this, and I always say it. I'm every day. I'm on a day-to-day basis with everybody because I know how to adjust and regulate. I understand when somebody's doing some shady shit out the gate, so I don't need to go in there with a preconceived notion that I think they're gonna treat me racist. Once I start feeling it, I move around. I just leave the business altogether. I'm not. Oh, you think you could talk to me like that? And this happens to me plenty of times. I'm like, I don't want it now. I'm good. So I just
Yep.
think that sometimes it's a lot more situational, but it's kind of like we draw these conversations up, and then it's like, no, it's always like that. It's like this. It's like this in the hood. It's like that when you go to a white established business. And I'm like, yeah, I don't always, you know, feel that. Like when I go to Apple. I go to the Apple store. I'm just using them as a specific. I mean, as a specific situation. No matter who walks up to me wearing that green shirt or the blue shirt, they always pleasant because that's the system that Apple created. So whether they racist or got a bad attitude, I never feel it in Apple. So I just think that people do what they need to do, especially when it comes to money, to adjust their behavior. And I just don't judge people just on the skin or the ethnic group or whatever, outside of their behavior too first. Because I gotta feel it to say, all right, yeah, you one of those. I already know how this is gonna go. Instead of just walking in there with a mind, oh shit, I'm gonna
Yeah,
deal
I
with this
give
white boy. He's gonna
everybody
say
the
some bullshit,
opportunity.
and he might be the coolest white boy I ever met that
Yep.
day. That
Yep.
hook me up with a deal or something like that. But if you go in there with the I'm only gonna fuck with my people, and now you go to one of your peoples one day and they having a bad day, now you fucked up with your little discount you could have got. And these are just experiences that I use. Sometimes I call companies, and if I get whoever it is on the phone and they don't tell me what I want to hear, click, I hang up, I call back, and whoever accepts my smoozing personality, then I wind up getting what I need to get done. And I don't even think that, oh, because I'm black and they're white, they're gonna treat me otherwise, because sometimes we can keep one of our own people on some bullshit. I just think it's just situational. A lot of times more than, unless you live in those areas where it's super segregated and it's super racist and people know what it is, like Howard Beach or something like that. I've never been hanging out on Howard Beach. Why would I go there if I know they don't fuck with me over there? I'm just not going there. Like at
I'm just
all.
not
Like, don't
going
invite
there.
me over there because I heard stories, shit happened. But again, I've been through there and around there,
I don't go
but
places because
I'm not
I
going there
can't
to hang
smoke.
out when I know those people don't really fuck with black people like that. So, but that's that. Said a
It's
lot.
it's like going someplace like they be like, oh well, you know, do you want to go to China? No, I'm not going to China. I can't smoke in China, so I'm not going there. It's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you're not doing what I'm doing, then no, I'm not coming there.
And this is after. So this is us as grown adults right now. So I think these conversations when we have them, people like to think like in that other room earlier they were saying like if you need to read more and you need to have more stats on the things that happen. All of y'all reading from the same
Same
information.
fucking information.
That's why y'all all thinking alike, and that's why y'all feel the way that
Yes.
y'all feel. I know the rules and the regulations and how to move. Like someone with that said, I don't care when I walk out my door. I'm not worried about one person doing something more than the other person. But I
Nope.
will tell you that there's stereotypes and there's things that are real deal. When you know if a dude has a fucking rag hanging out their back thing, or they have some red beads on, and it's a few of them together, most likely they're bloods. Like I know that because I know how they move around. So the same thing with the KKK or whatever. All the other stuff, the in covert stuff that they talk about, it's easy to talk about that. And I hate when people use it like on Clubhouse. Like, of course you could talk about the things that I can't control, but that's not going to be a fair fight. Then that's like fighting a ghost. I don't know, and yeah, I'm gonna get my ass whooped in the credit scores and in the banks and all that. But ask me if I still care. Like I'm because I'll fight as a group for us to figure it out. But individually, when I'm doing what I gotta do, I'm gonna figure out how to move around those systems. Like Donald Trump ain't paying taxes. I ain't gonna say the rest. If they ain't worried about him, don't worry about my little $100,000 I might have had that I gotta give you a little 20% of or whatever, 40%, whatever the fuck it is. Because deal with him first. But that's just my mindset. But I still do what I need to do to get by in life. So I'll pause.
I agree.
That's a,
It's a little sidebar. This is a little sidebar, D. So, are you still biased to Howard Beach from since 1986, or is it really still
that's the only reference point that I have.
rough?
Yes.
You know, you know. That's what I'm asking. You know.
Yeah, that's the only reference point that I have, and again, I know they did something bad to some to a black guy out there, and so but I know the
You
group
talking about Howard Beach?
Our Beach.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I was asking, is it
Well,
still,
he was pretty
you
sweet,
know?
pretty. We had a song called 75 White Boys Try to Jump Me, and it's about Howard Beach. And that was in 80
Hmm.
what?
That's what I'm saying. Like, so, like the biases of the community from 1986 is carried over all the way to
Oh no no no
2026,
no
or is
no!
it
It's
still
still
relevant?
it hasn't changed. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah. No,
area
that's what I was
still
asking.
yeah. That
Because you
area
know
is
they do
still
have some blacks that live there. I
hmm
know it's predominantly Irish and Italian, and a lot of that craziness came from the Italians and the whole Tawana Brawley thing and all of that stuff like that. But I was just wondering, you know, I haven't been there, but I was just asking, is it still those biases came from 1986, or is this current stuff going on?
but yeah, I don't think outright I would just say
I don't think it's still
like
going on.
nowadays, like all these people in Howard Beach are the same way that they was there. But I just know that section of town, if that's where they all chill at. Like that's
I
their
ain't going
town,
there.
and they got that. Like I'm not gonna go over there trying to change them. Is what I'm saying. Like I'm aware of what the situation is. It would be nice that it wasn't like that, but that's not the world we live in. So I think
No.
when you hear the race conversations come up, I don't never think that it can't happen or whatever. I'm just speaking from my 51 years. I know how to move around those situations. But again, shit could happen. And then, like the guy earlier, he was saying, somebody called him an N word down in the South. So I said, yeah, and that was your experience. So now this is why you feel the same way that I only felt the way about Howard Beach is because I heard it on the news. Like it didn't happen to me personally, but I felt bad for what they did to Tawana Burley. And but that's happening all over the world. So the more stories I hear, the more I'm just gonna say, oh, Kentucky, I don't like them there. Mississippi, I don't like them there. I'm not going nowhere there. That's probably why I don't go to those states, Alabama and all that, because I'm like, that's too close to me not knowing how to read the room and getting hung up on somebody's tree because I'm from New York and I don't give a fuck. I'll be on the back of somebody's truck. So
Yeah, that's why I don't go to a lot of places. You know, I don't go to a lot of places. Even in my own community, I'm not going there because you know what, and this is why this pro black conversation is interesting because I mean when I think about you know being a West Indian, let's say, and going from one Caribbean to the next Caribbean, there's a possibility that you may not fit in there because they have this stigma against you. Like I remember watching Haitians and Jamaicans have this massive war at one point, and I'm like, how y'all having this massive war and all of y'all are black? Like it doesn't even make sense. So because you speak a little bit of French and you speak English and they act like they don't understand neither one of y'all, it's crazy that you guys are so pitted against each other. And yet
But
here we
Todd, you
are,
know
you
there
know what
was
I'm
a big
saying?
stigma against Haitians in the Caribbean community for a very long time.
I know. I know, which I think it's very unfortunate. Like I was just at the Montreal Carnival and a lot of the Caribbeans are mad talking about there was so much Haitians out there. And I'm like, hello, they fucking show up. That's the thing I like about the Haitians. If nobody don't like nothing about Haitians, I like the fact that Haitians show up. You put something on for fucking Haiti, Haiti is coming out. And and
Well,
and we're standing against you in that regard. So I mean, this is where it's like, don't be mad at me because I fucking show up.
I think even to the title, right? I think I'm pretty pro-black, but I can also speak to, I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of Caribbeans other themselves from being black until they need to be seen as black. I see it a lot, and it's starting to, because I grew up around in New York around all different forms of black people. I really look at it like it's disrespectful, and it's to me, for me, it's irritating because it's like you look black, you get the benefits of black, but when you get the opportunity, you don't want to be that form of black or that form of black. You want to be, you consider yourself a better form of black, and it's dumb. Like, I think we have to stop doing this, but we do it a lot. We see it a lot. It happens a lot. Like, it's so much better in the Caribbean islands, but why are you here then? I get it. If it was, I wouldn't be here. If it's so much better than everywhere else because everybody else is struggling, but they all have migrated here to be better, then aren't we all in the form struggling in some kind of way? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is your struggle better than everybody else's struggle? I see it often.
And the
That
crazy,
was that was something that they just talked about a little bit earlier, almost verbatim. That topic was brought up in the way you explained it. It's what I heard as well, and what we as New Yorkers know it to be as well.
Yeah, 'cause like if you think about it, even on Clubhouse, I see it, I hear it all the time. Haitian men, I mean, not Haitian, Caribbean men, Caribbean women is so much better. You have single mothers in the Caribbean islands too. They have single families. I have all of these things in the Caribbean islands too. You have fathers that don't take care of their children too. Like, you have struggles too. Like, there's no different. You have
I think we just judge
colorism
each other so
too.
strongly.
And an island that should not have that because it should mostly be your color, but other people come from other places and treat you like less than on said island. Like, it doesn't make sense. And people, we don't call it out. Like, we're gonna be pro-black, well, let's talk about it. We don't call that shit out. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? And the fact is that I see all the time. Like, we talk about colorism within black people, and I say this as a pro-black person. Groups of brown skinned people are quick to talk about the black problems, but you are here because wherever you came from, there was a problem. So you don't have problems you don't want to talk about? Why you got to talk about and degrade black people here and this and a third and say all their negatives when you're amongst black people benefiting from the look of being black. But the moment you get opportunity, you're like, I'm not black. I ain't never been through that. This and a third. Y'all black people. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm from here, there, and there. Like, I don't think
Ye-
that's cool.
I
And
don't think it's. I
I got a
agree
question
with
for you,
you
it
Zach.
in
further
every
refutes
way.
me.
So I got a question that, like, because you said that,
Right. What up?
um, what's good, right? Yo, what is your perception on black? So do you consider all of these different forms of black, or is like just the Americans are black and everybody else is whatever they claim to be, or like how do you view that personally?
There is only one form of black. Like, the black people from the mainland America who they don't want you to know who the fuck you are. And that's what people do not be wanting to hear. Everyone else is of something else. Let's say you are African, you are Haitian, you are this and a third, and
You
it's
don't
nothing
you
wrong
don't think
with
that's
it.
mixed up in your family?
Wait. Can I finish? You are African. You have somewhere to, and people don't understand this. This is also a reason why, as black people, we don't understand this immigration fight. If you are African, if America fucks you over, gets on your nerves, or they don't like you, they can send you home. If you are Haitian, if America don't seem right, feel right, or something happened, they can send you home. Black people have nowhere. The term of black place. What they didn't tell you is this is your home. Black is because they don't want to call you what you are, which is American. So they gave you the term black to confuse you. They've been doing this for a minute. So the people that are actually black, not brown skin, not of melanin, like across the world, we have brown skin people, we have people of melanin. There are Indians that are browner than all of us. I've literally lived in that area and been like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? I'm not taking away from your brown skin. I'm not taking away from your melanin. I'm not taking away from any of that. But even with that, you are of a place first. You see what I'm saying? And then you have your melanin. That's how everywhere else categorizes you. Only blacks from America have no categorization technically. Their categorization should be American, but they don't want to put that on you, so they call you black.
But it's the same in Canada, though, Nat, just so you know. Because the slaves that was leaving America was coming up to Canada. And so it's a North American thing. So it doesn't just go with Americans. It goes with North
No.
Americans because Canadians deal with the
So
same thing, baby girl.
it doesn't. So what you're
So
not understanding is
yeah,
they're
but you can
still
come to America
blacks.
and go back to
They would
Canada.
still the Canadian unless you were born in Canada, then you are Canadian. But you are if you're born in Canada and you come to America, you are Canadian. If something goes wrong, they can send you back to Canada. You see what I'm saying? If the blacks that are born in America from America, yes, y'all do have blacks that came from America and went to Canada, but over time they became, for whatever, however way y'all do it, I don't know how y'all do it, they're Canadian. But for the ones who, when they first started, they were still black. They were of the Americas that they did not know where they didn't have a origin prior to becoming Canadian. Does that make sense? So even when y'all have brown skinned people there now, they're now considered Canadian. But their ancestors may have been origin black, where they did not they was from the root of America and they didn't want them to know that. So they called them black because they didn't want y'all to know that we was the indigenous people. I'm probably saying it messed up of America. You see what I'm saying? So that's the part people don't understand and don't acknowledge. The term black is actually a term to fuck you over because it says that you didn't come, they don't know where you came from. They don't want to say that you are from the original Americas, you originally was here. That's why you got the term black. Everyone else has a nationality behind their name, behind their whatever it is. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense what I'm saying?
It
Yeah,
does.
so
I
you think the
understand what you're
name?
saying, but it's the same here in Canada as it is in America. Just it's just
Right.
they're not
You mean in the
separating us in
United
that regard.
States?
It's the same. It's the same.
Yeah,
They
you
treat black
think?
people the
Yeah, I said
same in
nobody wants
America
to
as
speak
they
to.
do in Canada. Because here's
When
the
you
thing:
say
if you get deported from Canada and you were born in America, they're gonna ship you back to America. They're not shipping you back to
But
the land that
that's
you
what I
were
just
from.
said.
when you
But that
I
was the point
explained
she.
that.
But
Like they're not Canadian, they're not Canadian, they're American. If you get deported from Canada, you're not supposed to get deported from the place that you're from. So that you're not
I,
from Canada, you're from America. All brown skinned people get treated fucked up everywhere, all over the world. They all get treated messed up. But the
Yeah.
difference is they can't be deported from where they're from. They're black Koreans, they get treated fucked up, but they're Korean and they're black. There are black Canadians. If they're
But
from
black Americans
Canada,
can't be deported from
you
America.
can't get deported back to America from Canada. If you are black and you went to Canada, you can get deported back to America. And that's because, but even with that, they won't claim that you are the people from America. But you can be
You
claimed as the people from Canada
how
because you
much?
came from there if you're from Canada.
Nat,
That part.
how much percent of the natives you think stayed alive during that whole situation?
I can answer
I
that
hear
one.
nothing. And I
Yeah,
don't do
how much
percentage things because
We
I'm
are
not
oh,
a,
y'all
still
do the
here.
percent? Okay, forget it.
I just don't do percentage thing because I don't know all of nothing. And so I
Yeah,
can't break
because
down percentage.
I did a lot of I do a lot of history. I study a lot of history from other places and the slave trade and all that other shit. They usually wipe out all the natives. Like majority of 90% of the natives get wiped out. Then they start filling up the islands or filling up the places wherever. But more than 90% of the natives always get wiped out. You could look it up. You could look it up. All the slave islands, all that shit.
No, yeah, those
So
are
I want to
people.
know. I want to know how much
No,
people you think survived.
we are still here. That's the answer to the question. That's what I was telling you. We're still here.
Those people are still there after 300 years, but that don't mean that they
No, no,
from
no. I'm
there.
answering your question. We are still here on this land.
Hello,
That's
hi.
the
I'm
answer
gonna
to your
place the
question. You
order.
asked me
Gonna
about
come
But
back
don't.
in.
But look, there's the Dominicans. The
514
Dominican, like
929
ah man, I ain't even gonna get into it. But
I get what you're
that
saying,
whole
but
area over
what I'm
there.
saying, is here. You were
I
asking
wanted to get
about this country,
two.
and
I
I'm
want
telling
to
you that
get
we are still here.
the
That's
oh my
answering your
god, my
question.
brain just went blank. The crispy ginger beef,
You understand
no
where it comes from?
carrots.
You still here for
Yes.
how long? How long you been here
Can you
though?
put the steamed rice
How
on the
long
side
have
because
you
I'm
been
gonna
here?
make
Because
I'm gonna
there's
make two
people. Go
orders.
ahead.
So if we could
Because
put just the
the
steamed rice for the
1500
holiday,
the
it would be
1500s.
better.
That's when a lot of shit. got a lot of shit switched up. So I want to know how long your peoples was here.
Yeah, my people's my lineage only traces back here.
Okay. Oh,
For how
okay.
much
All right.
years?
I
As
guess
far as
yeah, but
we go
that's
back to the 1700s, and my
that's
people's is
right. Yes,
recording it
definitely.
that we
That's
can get
That
to.
that don't
Before
count.
that, before
That
it
don't count
does,
and
it
I'm
because you
not
could still
spicy.
have been brought here. That's the
No,
whole
we have
point.
Yeah,
not. All right, so you say you
when
did
I
a
say
lot of
not spicy,
history,
they put
right?
more sweet
And in the
sauce. I
history
don't
that
want
you've
more
done,
sweet
you
sauce.
would know if you did the proper history, you would know how many people were actually brought
Yeah, I don't
here,
want them to put
opposed to how
extra
many
of
people
that
were
though.
taken from here and taken somewhere else.
Yeah, thank you.
All of
And
that
then
information is open there.
with the
Have
Yeah,
with
they
the
but
other
have
that's
they
when
order,
you
paid?
get
I'm
into
gonna do a
percentage and
beef and
numbers and
broccoli,
all that
but with no
shit. You,
beef.
I don't believe, I don't believe those
Numbers.
numbers.
Okay, so you believe the numbers that they tell you about all these
Yes,
millions of Africans
less
that they brought
sauce,
from over
more
there, but you
garlic,
don't believe the only 4,000 that they have actually in the rolls and the governmental documents,
no
right?
carrots,
Yeah, I
please.
don't believe those governmental
No.
documents. But I do,
Okay,
what
but
I
you
do
believe the
believe is
sources
the
of truth,
research.
which is the
Go ahead.
Yes,
doctrine of the government. Okay, so what
and
research?
then
Yeah.
Let me hear your research from the people who put the information out
the
there, the only
orange
people who
beef that
have the
you
research.
have, is that fried or is that
Um, and I would say that,
like
to be honest with you,
how's that?
you probably should trust the
Yes.
documents. I'm gonna say why.
Oh, it's a
White people
sliced
were
beef.
very, very good at
Is that the
taking
only fried one
records
that you
of
have is
their
a crispy ginger beef?
property. Even but and here's the difference between taking records of their property and what they tell you. The actual
Is that the only one
documents,
that you
to
guys
be
have that's
real,
fried?
because there were so many different methods and ways to validate
Okay, so
documents.
then
This is
that's it.
also the reason why we have the people
Good for
notaries.
you.
They
It's
have
your
so
birthday.
many
You're
different
supposed
levels
to.
of how they can, and actually even to now,
I'm
you
sorry.
have a form of these documents. They will valid, they go by it because it's a document.
I'm
That's
gonna
how
do
much they did not play when it
one
came to their
order.
documents. That's why they know how many they counted their money, and it's so detailed. They counted, they use the documents to validate their
Yes.
money. So they
That's
always
like
took very
today's
good,
census. But
wait,
go ahead.
they always took
Yes.
very good records of the people coming here, actually who made it here.
You're
So the
giving them too
reality of
much
how many,
credit.
wait a
You give.
minute, wait a
Go ahead.
minute, wait a minute. You gotta let people
Yes.
finish.
Perfect.
The amount of people that they took and the amount of people that made it here is a vast
All right.
difference.
Perfect. Thank you.
Vast difference. But then
So
if you
much.
look at the documents, it does, like he said, show
Sorry about
it
that, honey.
wasn't as much as you think, as much as they say, as much as they try to tell you, but yet and still the numbers of people who were enslaved was way higher. Why? Because
Yeah,
they
for you
took
want to
those
see?
people from people who are
Ooh,
already
gorgeous.
here. Those people, and I've said this to people and they don't want to listen to this. I'm like, they play with words very well. There's always been freedmen and then freemen.
Oh, oh,
Freemen
that's
have always
beautiful.
been here. Freemen, I'm sorry, I said it wrong.
That's
Freemen have always
beautiful.
been here.
So you was outside by
Freedmen
yourself?
is the form of slavery, and you
Did
were
you tell them it was your
freed.
birthday?
We don't understand the difference between the two because it's close in words. People confuse a lot of things with American history because the words be fucking us up.
Girl,
Those are two different words and they mean
some
two
crazy
different things.
Corona lighted that
And we even
motherfucker.
Yeah.
had freemen who
That
were
shit had me
slave
looking
owners
sideways like.
here. They had freemen who were walking here before they and were not slaves. But they don't tell you this, but the
Love you.
documents show that.
Keep
So
So
enjoying.
so
real
was
quick,
there
wait, wait,
was there
hold on,
Tano people here? Go ahead.
real quick. I'm gonna let you go next. I just wanted to tell something. So, hence when I just made the comment toward him about he said about lineage and all that stuff like that. My last name is Freeman. That's my last name. Just by the way.
I mean, so that's something different between
But
the right.
okay,
So
so
one
who's
is
the
the
natives? I want to know who's the natives.
wait,
Who's the
hold on.
natives?
So I feel like y'all throwing stuff all over the place. A title is different than, so your last name being Freeman does not have nothing to do with the title of Freeman. The
It does
Freeman,
is when they were dropping
it,
when you were
it
dropping
that
your slave
has
messages.
nothing to do with your last name. It is the last name could have been for whatever reason somebody, listen, to be honest
Let's
with
not
you,
take it to last names. Let's not take it there.
can I just, why do you keep cutting off? I can't finish a thought because you keep jumping in with different things. Last names is something that people back then easily changed because when it came to last names, if you were in trouble in one place, you could literally just add a name to you and say that was your new name because those documents, unless you carried them, were not transferred. Like today, we have a system that tracks all of the birth certificates and this and the third. Now that wasn't a thing, right? So you had to go back to where you was born and the person had to carry the document. But they did have many forms of way of documenting these things. So because somebody has a name Freeman does not mean the same thing as the title of a freeman, a free man. A free man had never
And
been enslaved. A free man means it can be multiple people's title because I never was enslaved. I'm not a slave. A freedman was a person who was slaved and freed, but their name can be anything you choose. Anything. Literally, people were just choosing last names at some point just to, to present themselves.
I'm gonna go rightfully. I'm gonna go after you. I just want y'all to just summarize what this is even. What's the point of this conversation? Because I feel like we could.
I mean,
Just
that
was
shit
all over the
went
place,
way
so
fucking left.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead. Rightfully. I'll let you finish, and I'll go after you.
Nah, I forgot where they went. They took a couple turns. But I just wanted to know who was the natives, because I study certain natives in different countries and different islands and stuff like that. So who was the natives in America?
So
Was it the Tano people? Was it the Arawak? Like who's the natives here?
again, I'm not a historian. I don't have that information. So anybody have the actual information? Because
Yeah, them two claiming that they the natives.
that's a point. It's a point that is not even making sense to what we talking about, right? To in this conversation.
Facts. You're right.
But I really want to just stay. It starts to give me a headache when I do
Yo,
that.
this is not one of those that can stay in the spot. Because once we, when you talk about it, you talk about it. It goes. The goalpost is always going to move when you do something like this. And I feel like we did touch on that several times. We already went around the block several times with that same comment. Like as far as getting to that point,
What did
and
Right
that's just
even talk
yeah.
talk about it? Did he talk about what he can?
Oh, you can ask him. I guess you can ask him the question and like restart it like that. I guess yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, they was when I got in, they was basically talking about who's considered as like black due to the title. So it's still not. It's still next to the
Oh,
But
so
title.
he wanted to ask you. He just wanted to know, does being pro-black mean that we ignore our
no,
issues?
but
That's what he
that
wanted to know.
we could go back to that point because I did want to get on that because
Yeah,
when we
about to come
decided
in from
earlier when Liddell and everybody was in here, we were saying that you could be Dominican and look black, like, and people will call you the way that you look black. So now we talking about being a black American because we didn't even mention American in this conversation. We just talking about black, whether you live in London, England. So to bring up things that happen in America's society is like kind of pointless in this conversation because this is not just that. We talking about being black. London,
And a
America.
lot of people consider themselves to be black outside of America.
that's
Like
where it gets tricky.
that's where it gets tricky. But here's the thing.
How's it
Now,
tricky though?
I work with wordplay, right? Because I realize that there's different people have different definitions of black because they don't consider the Caribbeans and the this and the that and the Africans, and there's a lot of confusion within our community on who can be black and who cannot be black, which I didn't even know was that big. But okay, you understand? But what for us as black folk, I think once we start to take off the you and them and it and us, then we can start to deal with the issue of the fact that we're just as divided as hell. And until we can get it together in our community, we can't expect nobody to respect it. Period.
What the title mean when
And
it say do we
and
ignore our issues? What that title
So
mean? Yeah.
you be jumping from different things. Like so she was just speaking to a point. Can we
On
stay on
the
this point for a
title.
second? But
Net, relax.
that was what she was talking about though. And I
right.
was gonna like
I let him
focus.
answer.
But so rightfully, I was going back to him real fast now because I cut him off of
Alright.
saying what I wanted to say about that. So let me just explain again. So let's just say I live in the Bronx and I'm pro-black, so I want everybody that's black, just black, to be righteous and live a prosperous life and live a good lifestyle. And but then up the block you gotta do selling drugs, down the block, you got girls outside, just
I mean,
outside. In Harlem, they shot a basketball player in the head while he was playing ball the other day in the black community,
remember, death is supposed to bring
and
us together.
we
It's
don't
supposed
do
to be
nothing
sad
about
when
that.
somebody
But we
dies.
keep having these conversations about the racisms and this and that. But it's like, can you be pro-black if you're not trying to help and call out the bullshit that's happening in our neighborhoods? Like, does that go against being pro-black?
Mm, mm. So that's a good topic, and that's a touchy topic because that situation I want to talk about it, but it's not close to home. But I'm from New York, but yeah, because it's like, do you basically you saying do you call those people out for doing that type of heinous act type shit?
Right? Should we? All right. So should we be more concerned and clean some of that stuff up from happening before we get out here and get on our soapbox about the black experience? But meanwhile, we not able to call out shit that's happening with us, because I know we hate when you see in the
Yeah,
comments
because
online
motherfuckers still
when
want to.
the white
Oh,
people
I
are
have a
coming in,
right
they'll
to still
start
play R.
trolling, saying,
Kelly,
"Oh, another
but that
black
nigga's a
person
child
shot by another black
molester.
person." Like, they'll say it, but the truth of the matter is, as long as we keep giving them the ammunition to do it, our doesn't make what we saying about them any less valid, but it kind of makes us look like, are we really being pro-black if we not really trying to make our shit tighter on our side and stop worrying about everybody else? So that's where it started from, that type of angle. I'm not talking about running outside and you seen the dude get laid down and now you go grab your gun, but again, we all know who's doing what in our neighborhoods. We know it's 100 people watching a basketball game and nobody got no leads to the person that came and murdered this guy that's been a good guy, had nothing to do with it. I'm just using that as an example, the guy Kinu. Like, I don't know what the beef was before. I don't know if it was straight. I don't know what, but it's just like, do we use situations like that to say, look, we got to be a little bit more proactive before these things happen? Or we can't consider ourselves pro-black?
Gotta be proactive.
I mean,
Uh,
I can give a great example
t-
of
yeah.
us excusing some shit in the neighborhood because he black. The motherfuckers who still want to play R. Kelly. Oh, I have a
Yeah.
right to play R. Kelly because he's a musical genius, but he's also a fucking child molester. So which one do we pick? Do we pick that he's a musical genius, or do we pick that he's a child molester? Because we have to pick, because that's where we get a little bit sticky. Oh no, but it's R. Kelly. No, what he did was wrong, and it doesn't matter when he did it. I'm holding you accountable from right fucking now. And so everything that was you, even if I like your shit, guess what? It is now a child molester's thing. And so I'm going to hold you accountable in that element. And this is where we pick and choose, like, oh, well, but then when somebody else stuff comes up, like, look at Epstein. Oh, Epstein this and Epstein that and Epstein that. But no, leave R. Kelly
Yeah.
alone. Can't wait till they get out of
Yo.
jail so he can make another album.
I consider myself pro-black, but I'm gonna tell you two cases. I'm gonna tell you three things. The case
Not
when the
doing it.
kid killed the white kid. Did he kill him or stabbed him or some shit?
Yes.
Yeah, remember that?
Carmelo Anthony. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, Carmelo
exactly.
Anthony.
So I from what I got from that shit is he should have never brought that knife to the spot. You get what I'm saying? So that's how I feel on that. I
Yeah,
don't
well,
know if
my
I'm
brother
still
stabbed
pro
up some
black for
niggas
saying
because they
shit
just
like
wouldn't
that.
leave him the fuck
And this
alone.
new case, I'm gonna say two things on it because I don't want to get too in depth. I ain't trying to get
Oh, that
backlash either.
they jumped Carmelo?
But at first, I'm like, yo, that shit is fucked up. They killed dude, he playing basketball, whatever. But when I looked into
Yeah,
the
to me, that's
information
self-defense.
on Instagram, all that shit, dude was like an active gangbanger. You get what I'm saying?
I'm not going to be
So
for R.
I
Kelly
didn't know how to
because
feel on that situation. You
I
get what
don't.
I'm saying? And
I
it's
don't.
like active. It's not like used to be.
No,
It's
because
like, you get what I'm
he
saying?
was
So it's
molesting
like
kids while he was making the song,
it's
yo.
gang shit. It's
If he
gang
wasn't
shit.
molesting,
And it's like,
kids
how
when he was
can I
making the
be
song, cool.
pro black on gang shit? That's the shit that needs to stop. If that's
Can
the
I jump
case,
in?
go ahead. And I
And
don't
at
know
the
D
same
D
time,
DW knew all that.
And
with
at
the
the
gang
same
shit.
time,
I
no
didn't.
matter how grown you
So
thought you were,
I will say
that
I'm
fucking
pro-black, but we
23
gotta
year old
stop ignoring
knew
the
what
fact
they
that
was
we
doing
don't
was
read.
wrong.
Reading is
They knew what they was
comprehension.
doing was wrong.
Comprehension is a
Just
problem
because
in
you
our
thought you was
community,
fucking
and
grown.
Okay.
we
Shit, I
literally
want to drive a
learn
car at
all of our
14. That don't
history
mean
through
that I'm
word of mouth. I
supposed
mean,
to.
our history,
I
not just
could.
history, our news through word of mouth. We
You go to
really,
Russia and them
I'm
places they
pro-black,
drinking fucking
and I
vodka for
cannot
breakfast at
ignore
7
this
years
shit. I
old.
cannot ignore the
You know what I'm
fact that
saying? But
we literally don't put any
is
kind
that
of
fucking
weight
okay for their liver
or
and their system?
reverence to education in our community, and it
I
is
don't
starting
know.
to show up in our adults. I'm sorry.
Mean. What that mean?
Oh my gosh.
Huh?
Like what was that?
No,
What
no,
was
no.
that
That was the
saying
driveway when
towards?
we moved in.
I think it 100% speaks for itself. The fact that we don't read stuff for ourselves.
So
We
just
have,
tell us what we need to read. Like
I'm literally, see, this is where, bruh, I'll stay quiet and let you speak. And then when I start speaking, you jump in, and then you're literally asking other questions other than what the person is saying, which throws off the whole person's thought, their process of thought. Like, this is crazy. And I feel like this comes to, as a Black person, the fact that we really got problems with focus.
Huh?
Have the
Oh, definitely didn't see that.
you in the Matrix.
All right, so let's do this thing. Because now it's just us.
It shows
Yeah,
that
so
black
I
people
definitely
don't know
don't.
how to deal
I
with
don't
the
know the
issues
backstory, but we talked about this
because
earlier. Like,
we haven't dealt with one issue yet, you know.
there's different
Oh,
things that happen
we
in
talked
different cultures,
for
whether it
2
be
hours
Asian,
and some
Italian,
change,
they
and
got
we
their
ain't
own
get
gangs and shit.
nowhere.
We
We haven't made
normally
one
glorify
solution,
their
yo.
shit and don't watch movies, Godfather,
Because we just
Scarface,
can't say that we
and
respect all human
it's
beings.
cool and we respect it. We know
Because
the
as long
whole the rules to it or
saying that
whatever.
we
And now we
respect
have
all
our own
human
shit.
beings
So
means that you can't be
street stuff is
pro-black.
street stuff. I get it. Like I get your
No, but
what you're saying about that.
that's the problem.
What I'm saying is
They can't recognize. So when I say that,
everything.
like,
Can you
I
be
have white
like
fucking people
for
that I
your
really fucking
blackness,
love.
for
I
your
got
pro
white people
black?
that I love more
If
than
you're
some
not
niggas.
able to try to fix some of those things that
But
are messing up
because I
what we
support
got
those
going
white
on,
people,
because if
and I
not,
would
then it
say
makes no
there's some
sense to
really
try to
good
even
white
be
people out
pro-black
there.
if you're not
Oh,
even gonna
you
try to
white
fix that, because
explaining.
it's gonna keep
Oh,
coming back to
you picking. No, motherfucker. It just
stall
means
or
that
hurt some of the things you're
I
trying
look
to
at
achieve
human beings
if you're trying to stay in the
and I
black.
see
Like
good.
if I tried to
And
stay
because
in the
there's
black
a lot
neighborhood
of
and
black
just deal
people, I
with
wouldn't spit on you if you was on
all of the
fire.
things
I
that's
would kick
happening
off your
and
blood
go in
clot
these
face. I could
projects
tell
like
you
I do
now
and teach
that
these
not
kids how to
everybody
podcast.
with
Oh,
fucking
it
black
feels great when
skin.
I'm doing
I'd
it.
be like, yeah.
And I
Hell
go into different
no,
spots
I'm
in
not.
Brooklyn,
So that's
places
why
I've
I'm like,
never
I
had to
can't.
go into before,
I
but
can
I
be
go in there to
pro-black in
teach
the
the kids.
sense
But
of
let's just
I'm gonna
say
shop in your
one
business
day I look
first.
like I ain't supposed to be there and they press me.
Do I think we're superior?
Then what happens?
Absolutely.
What happens
Do
after
I?
that? Then I'm on the news and
And this is
nobody
how,
did
because
nothing
I
about
mean,
it
when I look at
early
myself,
enough to correct
I know
these
that I'm
guys'
fucking
mindset,
superior.
and now
So
another black man is dead. So I just think that when I look at stuff, I look at it. I'm not a
I
street
don't
dude,
got
but I
time for
understand the
that
streets
shit.
enough because I'm from adjacent to it. I was on the sidewalk, but I still, understand the street. So I was just using this as a conversation, but it seems like the conversation is always going to go back to what everybody else is doing, and we
For
just
a
can't
pedicure?
correct ourselves. So therefore, I personally think the conversation that we had earlier, the girl, it was like, can you be pro
We
black
try to do that shit
but
like we drug
anti
dealers.
white, or is it the same thing? And I had a back and forth with a
And
young
then we
lady
would
because
overcharge
she
our own
believed
people.
that
That's be the hard
she
part.
does
We'll
real estate
overcharge
and,
our
and
fucking
takes
people,
white
but we
people's
ain't gonna
money, but she don't
overcharge the
fuck with
other
white people.
motherfuckers.
And when I told her, I said, see, in New York, if I don't fuck with the Asians or I don't fuck with the Jamaicans, I'm not fucking with them across the board.
That shit is
Or
crazy to me.
if I'm just trying to get money from them, I'm not gonna say out my mouth, I don't fuck with the Asians, because when rightfully see me walking out the Chinese restaurant, he gonna look at me like a hypocrite, like, yo, D, I thought you said you don't fuck with them. I'm gonna say, nah, I just wanted some garlic chicken. It don't work for me in my brain. It don't work like that. But people could have the right to do and not do what they want to do. But
Because
I
if
think when you
I'm
come on
pro-black,
Clubhouse
that
and
means
say
that
you do something and
I
don't
can't
do
have
something,
no
or you're
more
trying to make
motherfucking
something be
genital
super pro,
chicken.
but then you're
Does
going
that
against
mean
a
I
whole
can't
other
have no
race that
more
you
fucking
still have
land bread?
affiliation
Like,
and
what the
business
fuck
with.
does that
I
mean?
feel like that's hypocritical, and that they didn't understand what I was saying with that. So that's why I came up with this. Like, I forget about any other race. Let's just talk about if I'm, because I don't consider myself pro-black, because I'm not one of those guys, but I feel like if you line three people down the line for me to give an opportunity to in my business, which is podcasting and music engineering, I probably would give a black or brown kid the opportunity first because I know we
But
need it more
it's
than this guy or that guy. And I've
yes,
had
and I
this
want to try
situation. I've had
Jamaican food from every
90%
other
black people work
place.
for me. I got like
Cause not every,
one
cause
Jewish
I went to
guy and
Jamaica
one
and I had the
Asian
worst
guy,
Jamaican food I
Korean.
ever had
The
in my
Korean kid,
bumba life.
you would have not known he was Korean
I
because he
was
lived in
like, yo,
Queens
I
and he
went to
treated
Jamaica
himself and
and
hung around all of the black, culture. And his son he named his son after me. He was one of my
who
engineers. He
was it
named
that
his son is named Damien
who
after
was
me.
it that made
So
the
I figured
fucking
like, and he's never gave
they
me
made
like racial vibes,
the
so I never
smoked
treated him like
herring
that.
and
But
all
then
that
there are
stuff for
some
us
Korean
when
people
we
that
were there
are
with
like
Fathead.
they see them into society. I say all that to say,
No, but it was some
like,
kind of
I
fish
don't
that
pick
we
and
didn't
choose
have, man,
based
and
off
somebody
of the
that
color of
stew that
people's
down
skin more than
themselves
their
and come
behavior,
bring it
and
for
that's
me.
the conversations I keep wanting to have
That
on
was the only
Clubhouse. It's
food I
like,
ate
so
down
do
there
you
that I
just
like. Otherwise, I
point
was
out
eating
people in the
fucking
lineup and say, all
bland
right, you
food.
black, you can come roll with
Me
me
not
in
understand.
my crew, you can come get in my car, and I just assume that you're going to do the right thing opposed to any other race just because
No,
of
bland
the
food.
stigma on it. Like what happened to the guy that went
Cause
on
white
that
people like
on that trip
spice.
and
Me
he
not
didn't come back.
understand. They keep
Could that
thinking that
have been
white people don't
all
like spice.
white
White
guys
people
that
love
that happened to?
spice.
Could it have been all black people and that still would have
Why
happened?
you think you
Or do
eating
we only make
habanero and all these fucking things all over the
draw attention
place?
to it when
Because
it's
white
all
people
white and
spread
one
that
black?
shit all
Because
over
I
the
feel like
fucking
that's what
place because
happens a
they
lot.
want to try it.
But I don't know. That could be just me.
You said when it's all white and one black, yeah. I mean, do we draw the attention or do the media? You know what I'm saying? The
I
me,
I think
yeah.
that there's
I've
a
been
guy
in a
or
community
there's a
where
bunch of
I've
people
just
on
been the
trial
only
right now
black
that
girl.
they went on they were married or they went on some type of trip
I
together,
know I'm
like
talking to you.
out the
But
country, and the
TikTok can
wife
hear
didn't
me
come
though.
back or something. I see that all the time, but we don't
TikTok,
draw attention
YouTube,
to
they
it
can hear
because it's
me.
not a black or white thing. But it's still fucked up that some man killed his wife,
Yeah.
or that's the point. That my general point, and I think if I was so much of a person that wasn't in the business of being around multiple people for my whole career, then I would probably be focused on just one thing. Like, yeah, I'm just on this. But because I'm podcasting, I've been hearing everybody's stories from entertainers to whatever, doctors, lawyers, whatever it is. I think I just have a different mindset, and it helps me in my career. I think if you're in a business where you can just lock into your pro blackness and you still gonna make money and you're gonna be good, then you should do that. But if not, then you should not be out here with the FOI, knowing that you work at IBM and shit, and you got to be around other white people. Because I think it
It's
looks crazy.
fucking
It looks crazy for the
hypocritical.
march.
For me,
That's a
how do you
fact.
make money off of a thing and hate a thing at the same time? Like it don't even make no fucking sense. I hate you and I don't respect you and all of this stuff, but then you spending 40 hours a week shucking and jiving and making this person rich. If that's the case, then you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got this game fucked up.
I
Like
heard that. I heard them people back in the days of World War II or some shit. Some of them, what is it, the Vietnam shit? They don't use certain stuff. Like they take that shit serious. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like me.
I got it.
Certain products I take seriously. I don't fuck with Nestle products, and I try to make sure that I know the subsidiaries of Nestle
Yeah.
as well, so that I don't fuck with any product that could make them any money because of the practices that they do.
Yeah, there's
Exactly.
Jews are example of that, and exactly what he's talking about. It's like you don't fuck with
Facts.
them, you don't fuck with them because I remember when I was
And it don't matter if black people own
working at
Nestle.
a
I ain't fucking with you.
resort, and there would be I
I
learned
don't
this
care
from
if I
them.
found out that the
A
person
bunch
that
of
owned
Jewish
Nestle
people there. I was
black
like,
like
yo, why
fucking
y'all always buy
night.
the same thing? Because I'm curious about the culture, so I asked direct questions.
Yo,
And I asked,
wicked,
why y'all always buy
wicked,
the same type
wicked
of cars
people.
or this or that? I never see y'all in the
They want to
Mercedes or this or
control
that. They said,
all the
oh no,
water
no,
in the
we
world.
don't.
So all
If
those
you
places
true
that
to
you go
this,
and you
we're
put
not
that
buying
you
nothing German. We're not supporting no German cars.
dig up
We're
the
not giving
pump
them no
and do
money
all of that and put the
for what
well
they
in for
did
the
to our
people.
people, and they stand
Nestle
to
just
it
go
as a
and
collective
charge them
body
for
of
that pump
people. And that's why I asked that question earlier about what is black.
because
Is
they
it
want to
you
own
sign
all the
up for
water
it? Is
in the
it
world.
like a religion? Because I feel like it's different when it's an organization,
Huh?
like I'm just considering
No, they
Jews
do. They
and
take
anything
your
with
free
the
paper,
organized
their
religion at
free
the end of
well, and
an
charge
organization.
them people for it.
But when it's like it's different when it's like that because now you got a body of rules, you got a culture that y'all all abide by. You can then hold everybody accountable to it. But when it's just people deciding today I'm black, tomorrow I'm not, how you holding these people accountable for being pro or anti or whatever? Because they just dec- they just deciding when they're gonna be on the team and when not without no type of accountability. It's very difficult to hold everybody to one standard when everybody ain't signed up to be on the same.
That part right there. You ain't lied about that.
That's a fact.
That's a
That's a
fact.
fact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if I didn't know rightfully, like I don't know where he from, what he do, but if I'm somewhere, we out of town together, and we see each other, and we look alike, we talk the same slang, the first thing that's gonna happen is like, all right, he's black, he cool. Second thing is, oh, nah, he from the Bronx, he from Brooklyn, or whatever he's from, whatever his town he's from, and then we form our, we form our alliance based on that, and we probably would get along because we have the similarities. And I think that's the first thing that happens, but that's the gift and the curse of it, because we tend to just get along and go along and get along because we all look alike or we all come from the same place. But meanwhile, like I said, if I was growing up in the Jacks or whatever, and I don't pee in the elevator or I don't pee in the steps, and there's a guy that does that, like, do I really want to be around a dude that's like that? Like, that's nasty, right? But there's some people that's cool with that. They're like, nah, still my dude. Like, I would probably tell one of my friends, why are you doing that? We got to stand in the elevator. Why would you do that? I'm the type of person that would do that.
Only when you're in
I
the
just think
dark
that
will
that's
you see
you
the
know.
That's what I'm
light.
saying.
When you're in the light,
How you
you
gonna
don't
hold them
see
accountable
nothing.
to your set of rules and standards? Because it's not, y'all not like I said, y'all not
Yeah,
on the
but you're
same
in all
team.
pink
So
with
it's
a.
like he do it his way, you do it your way, and then
It's
it
style
becomes a
actually.
matter of perception on what's right and
Yeah,
wrong. You can have a general
style.
perspective, like society says, we agree that society says this shit is against the law, and we hold each other to that standard. But
I
when
know
we
they say
talking
give
about
me
like
an activity and I'm here.
pro-black and this and that this is perception. This is a choice to stand on that side
TikTok.
of the fence, So it's not a societal norm
Even if I'm
to
doing this
be
the whole
pro
time,
anything.
they
It's
still
a
do that.
decision that you make, a personal decision. But again, it's easier when we all on the
Mm-mm.
same team than it is for people just saying, "Oh, just because you black, you on the team." Like you automatically on the team because that comes with a lot of biases and again, like you said, a lot of bullshit. Because you
Got
don't know what team he played for
four or five
before,
active.
or what
Yeah.
other associations he got, what I'm saying, that come with his
Just
side of blackness
I'm about to cut
or
this.
hers, you
I'm
know
gonna
what I'm
leave
saying?
this here. Then we'll come back to this.
damn. Word up.
And that speaks to what you was talking about the gang shit, right? So he black, the kid that killed him is black, but he on one team and the other kid is on another team. And they rotting for their team and that black shit comes second to the rules of the team,
Exactly. There we go. That
So,
good point.
that's what we're
All right,
dealing
y'all.
with.
I'll be back. I
Well,
can't
and that's what makes
pause,
it difficult to
but I'll
do
be
that.
back to
So
y'all.
if you're gonna police
I'm gonna go
and
get my
call
food,
yourself
but I
pro
can't leave
anything
it
or that,
open
then
because
y'all
then
all need to be
TikTok
on the
is
same
gonna
squad so y'all can
give me
police
some
each
kind of
other.
bullshit. So I'm gonna end the
That
live,
that
and then I'll
community
be back.
can
Take
do
care,
it,
y'all.
But otherwise, you just talking out your ass to somebody who don't agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, and that's a good point because when I used to be in the streets heavy, it was one rule. You couldn't really get in
YouTube and
between
Facebook too,
certain gang shit. Like everything else, you could step right between. But when it comes to gang shit, there's too much politics involved. So you gotta leave shit like that alone. You get what I'm saying? So that's a good point.
In a certain sense, is very similar to what we're dealing with out here, which is tribalism in a lot of ways. It's very similar.
Yeah, trap. If trap is cool, he was talking on stuff like this too recently. But yeah,
I sent them down. I mean, I sent them up. What up, trap? So yeah, I think that so what you just said rightfully, it makes sense. Like, there's two sides, and they gotta settle something. You gotta step out the way. But again, we act like black on black crime is the only crime. Like there's Italians killed mad Italians, yo, in the streets of New York in the 80s. Like that's what it was. You turn on the newspaper, you see they fucking brains blown out. They was doing this shit on a higher level, and then we say, oh, it's the media puts us out. Yeah, no, I think they was doing it so much on a level that the government, they wanted to focus on them, and then now that whatever they're doing now is not as loud as what we doing. We just got everybody just running around with broad daylight cameras, so it's kind of hard to try to black explain it. Like now it's like, yeah, they go, the YNs is out here running amok again, like, or whoever, the 40-year-olds or the 50-year-olds, whoever it is, but they're on camera now, like you're seeing it, and it's just like traumatizing to be like, so how am I going to even have an argument about the white man stopping me from doing something when I can potentially walk outside right now and be watching a game or something, and it can go down, like, or I can just go to the wrong neighborhood at the wrong time and it could be up.
See, it's a little different though. It's a little different because
See, the
when you bring up,
it's community. Go ahead, Trap. But I feel like it's community and culture that plays a big part in this
so
situation. Go ahead.
that's one thing, but it's another thing that's extremely important. What you just said is extremely, extremely important. Now the other thing is this, like the same way they say, like for example, the Holocaust, they be like, "Oh, that's the worst shit that happened." No, it was black people. That's the worst shit that happened. We just don't got it recorded. Now that goes back to what DWI was saying. Hold on, now it switches. We're recorded. These niggas ain't recorded because back in, especially in New York, these motherfuckers was blowing each other up. These niggas was not playing no games. They ain't had no guns. They had guns, but they not. You feel me? They was blowing each other up. They not walking down on shit. They was blowing each other up. You hit the car, bam, blow up. You go in your house, bam, you blow up. They was blowing each other up. That shit wasn't recorded. That shit on the movies. That shit wasn't recorded. We're recorded, like you were saying. Now we got all type of camera lenses around everywhere, all type of surveillance. We're recorded now. Now it changes the demographic. We the dangerous people. And then black on black is just so crazy to me because, like, I'm not gonna lie, I used to be in the street. I'm sure all of y'all probably been in the street at some point, maybe at some point. And then when you learn about black people, it's like, we fucking tripping. But that's our media is always going to support us tripping. That's why you can say I go outside and I don't know what's going to happen. You wouldn't have been able to say that, but that shit was in media. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't give a fuck how you grew up. You wouldn't be able to say that unless you grew up in real life games. You won't be able to say that. And if you're not in the game, you can't say that either. So it really just plays a part of perspective, surveillance, and old and new times.
That shit got a lot to do with economics. I mean, most people don't realize that perpetuating things in a particular way is by design because it makes money. You know, sometimes you might watch the news and for like 20 months they promoting the killings in a certain neighborhood. Why? Because they're pushing a political agenda. You know, it's all orchestrated by the same people. I mean, the media is run by a bunch of oligarchs, and all of this is mission related. You cannot think that they just put certain things. You know what the news is, man? The news is a fucking organized commercials. You know,
Exactly.
promoting shit all day. So you know, when people get caught up in that, you know, it's a skewed perspective with agenda-based perspective. You know, and you know, I studied communications. Shit, I wanted to be a journalist for a long time, and when I realized that, I was like, yo, man, this is crazy, man. By design, that's what TV is. That's what radio is. It's just marketing, but this is political marketing. You know, and people get caught up in that, and they start chasing other people's dreams and goals and regurgitating the shit that they say, you know, but it just helps their agenda because now I got a bunch of people who are going to vote my way because I say I'm going to change this atrocity that you hate, or I'm going to get these people out of your community that you're afraid of. You know, so we fall for the game every time. You know, and it's been indoctrinated in us in the school system and in the entertainment business. It's throughout. So I think part of being pro-black is to being a couple of steps ahead of all this shit and educating the people about what it means to to do something different to help move the people in a much more positive direction. And it can't come without education, you know. So I would rather hear us regurgitating things about elevation and progress than regurgitating the bullshit about what I heard last week. I heard this kid got murdered in the park or some shit on a regular basis because all we doing is spreading the news
Is
and
it enough
keeping
for us
that
to all
energy
eat?
going and not changing, what's happening in the community by altering the perspective of the people that live there and who are poor black. I figure if you consider
He's still there if you
yourself
want to
pro-black,
talk.
you should be in association with more pro-black people and pro-black agendas.
Because look, I have
So
it in
this
front
If
of
this
you
is
screen
really
right
want to
now.
change things.
so,
See,
but
I have
this
it
is
in
the
front of
problem.
screen,
This is
but
the
if you want to
problem.
actually see it,
So I
you can
understand what you're
see it.
saying. I agree with what you're saying, right? This is the problem that we are facing. The problem isn't that, like when you said education, for example,
Click over here to
we
talk.
don't have the education. Like me personally, I
Go
don't
on
know where y'all
YouTube. Yeah,
from.
you could smoke
I'm
on YouTube.
from I'm from the
Do
first
whatever the
state.
fuck you want to
We
do.
don't get. I promise you. I
It's
swear to God
TikTok.
on my
I'll shut
kids,
TikTok off for me.
there is no such thing as education between our whole history, like before slavery, after slavery, during slavery, or Jim Crow. So, like I said, I used to be in the streets. When I start paying attention, it changed my whole perspective of everything. And then, but the problem is when it comes to the education point that you're talking about, yes, you have to want to be educated to be educated. But if you don't got, like, there's nothing going on that can do that for a lot of black people all around the world. So it's always going to be the same shit. Everything's going to be bad. Everything's going to be chaos. Everything's going to be, now, they call, a certain age group, they call them young niggas. Everything's going to be that because nothing else is going on.
So when I say education, I definitely don't mean traditional education, but I'm saying like, let's say like these the teacher, like, and this is where the idea came from for me is that my ex-girlfriend, she was a substitute teacher when we talked about having children. We just happened to be watching these Mormons who were doing homeschooling. And every time I turned around, I was looking at these white people who were doing homeschooling. And I was saying, how come we don't do that more often? How come we don't just take that part? We sitting here trying to integrate schools and trying to get the schools to do more black studies and this and that. But how come all of the black teachers don't say, you know what, we want to educate our own people? I've seen it happen with some of the development of charter schools and things like that, but they still
They got to follow a
follow the
certain,
traditional formats.
yeah,
Uh,
uh-huh.
yeah, in order to be certified to do it. But
Exactly, a certain curriculum.
I've s- I don't see them. I don't see nobody cracking down on those Mormon ladies who teaching their 8, 10 kids at home.
But this
They
is the
have a
thing. Most
culture of
people,
doing that.
I mean, but you gotta remember, this goes back to self-education because most people don't know who the Mormons are. They don't know how powerful they was. They didn't know what they did. They don't
Mm-hmm.
know that they developed all the shit that we got going on for, especially for the white folk. They don't know. They don't know that white people. You got to think.
Mm-hmm.
All black people learned was white people was royalty, we slaves. So then when we got to the point of the Mormons, right? The royalty was, you already know, they was living with the rats and doing all type of shit, dumping buckets of shit outside of the window. A lot of people don't, younger people don't know that. They don't know these things because everything else that they get taught is through music, through influencers, or it's definitely 100% not in the education system. They have been also making it to where they're not allowed to even teach about the KKK, racism. That's not a thing. You can't do that no more. Like in most schools, you can't do that no more. Indians being killed, all that extra shit that we know about, that's not a thing. Now they only learn the culture that is providing them, which is the music and X, Y, and Z. They don't know about the Mormons. They don't know about the black, Egyptians that were black. They don't know about God was black, if you believe in that. They don't know about these things. This is all like this is like foreign information to them. It's like speaking Chinese. They don't know what you're talking about. So now it creates a generation that, and it's only us that don't know. and now we confused and doing all type of crazy shit outside, and it was not going to change because nothing changed. Now, like you said, if you go back to like the widows and black people owning things, but every time we own something, it got buried, it got drowned by a river, or it got bombed. So it's not it's just a different systematic program for us.
Hold on. So check this out. So just so y'all know, right? In the U.S., you don't need a teaching certificate or a college degree to homeschool your own child. You don't need none of that stuff. Right? It all depends on what the state law is. Most states they don't got no requirements at all. You know, Well, they
At
don't.
all. Yeah, you just gotta
Some
pass the
states
test. The
probably
kid just gotta pass the test.
yeah. No, I mean just to provide it, to be the provider, not the student, but just for you, your mom, your pop, your mom, your wife, whoever, to be the person providing homeschooling. You don't have to be certified. Some states, all you need is a high school diploma to do it,
For
and
sure.
they'll if you create the curriculum and you create the curriculum and you submit that, they approve it. The only other thing you got to do is you got to administer the standardized test that everybody got to take, like
That's what I'm saying. You just
according
gotta
to
pass the test.
school laws, right?
So,
So it means that everybody has the power to do it,
but nobody,
but
a lot
most
of
people
people don't have the
won't do it.
means to do it.
What's the means? I just told you you don't have to have
No,
no
no, 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 no,
certification,
no, no,
nothing.
no, no, no. What you're talking about is
What?
the
So
power.
give me the means. Which
Okay, so for example,
Yeah,
like
give me the means. What you mean by the means?
I got you, I got you, I got you. So, like for example, like me personally, I got 4 kids, right? Now, there's
Hmm.
two things that I can do. Like I wanted my kids to go through a widow, a midwife, not a widow. I keep saying widow. I don't know why I keep saying that. Midwife, my bad. And I wanted my kids to also be homeschooled so I can teach them the things that they need to know, which is what we're talking about right now. But the thing is
Hmm.
this, I realized soon, damn, I got 2 baby moms. How am I gonna make that happen? Okay, financially, I gotta be in a certain place where I can do that. Because not even just me or is my girl smart enough to understand what I understand? Maybe not, because I probably got to teach her something. So now it turned into okay. That's what I mean by the means. It's not the power. Like you're talking about, we have the power to do it, of course. But a lot of black people, and you can't lie about it. Most black people don't have the means, as in the time, the financial stability. They don't have they don't have all that. And that's aside the education that they do know or don't know. So that's what I mean by means. The means to do it is a lot harder than the power. The power is easy. The means to do it is a lot harder.
Hmm. So we're saying so. I would I would accept that some people don't have the means, but for the people that do, and I believe that there are a lot more people that do than don't, simply because there are a lot more people that they're home most of the day. You got unemployed people who have the time, right? So there are certain things that I think if you're suggesting this as a pro black person to anybody in the community,
Hmm.
if you're suggesting it as a leader, saying, "Look, I think we should provide more homeschooling opportunities for people in our community, and you should elevate those people, right? So you should help them with, like you said, putting the time management, organization, right? All of the things that they would need to do it the right way. I'm not just saying just go out there, do it, and not be productive. I'm saying
Right.
that if a leader came to the people and said, "Look, this is what we should be doing," I think they should educate the people and ensure that the people have the means to do it. And I think we do have lots of people out there, but
Yeah,
I
I
think
agree with you.
more often than not, I think people are afraid to go against the system. And I
I
also
agree.
think the larger issue is that people are dependent upon the system. You can see
Mm.
that during COVID. More
Hmm.
people complained. It wasn't about means or money. Your ass couldn't go to work. But more people complained about their kids not being able to go to school than took the time to educate their own kids when they
Yeah,
had them. Most people see school as a just free opportunity for free daycare. Because
yeah,
I
free
know plenty
daycare,
of
no
people who
bullshit.
just sent,
Yep, you're 100
yeah,
percent
sent their
right.
kids
I
to
agree with you.
school and partied and bullshit all day. You know what I'm saying?
I
So,
agree with
so
you.
we're not talking about them people. We're talking to people who really want to change and really want to do something. I think that's where the word pro is put in front of black is we're not just talking about any old black person. We're talking about a person that definitely wants to
Like
see
real life
something
pro.
better for themselves and their community, you
Yeah,
know, and they will invest. Those people that are pro will invest in doing something better and choosing better for themselves, which equals for their people as well, you know.
yeah, no, I
So
definitely,
I
I
like to
100, I
separate the
hundred
two,
percent
you know
agree.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, I 100%
Yeah,
agree
because I
with
think a lot of time, I think we fail with trying to include everybody, and I don't think pro-black includes everybody. I think you just the people that want to be down and diligent and determined to succeed, they'll be down without question. And those who don't want to, they'll be on the side looking at all the progress saying, why can't we have what they have? You know?
you. Right. I agree with you 100%. I got you. I agree with you. Like I was just in a I was
What's up,
literally just in
Sleeve?
another chat, right? And the title was why do black men bash black women? I was like, what? Like, and like in mind just a whole bunch of females in there talking, and I was like, this is why. This is actually why we bash y'all. This is exactly why. If you want to talk about it, that's why. But we don't bash y'all because y'all don't care. Y'all care about us more than y'all kids. The only reason why the kids matter, is because y'all know there's some financial gain. It's some type of status to say I'm a single mom. It's all these extra things instead of it being let me take care of the family. Not as a female, I'm saying as anybody that's black. Let's take care of the family. Like the family's here. Well, what am I supposed to do now? Take care of them. That's your job. And I agree with what you're saying because like my kid, like I have two different baby moms. One of my kids, two of my kids is from they all from out here, but one baby mom is from Philly, one is from Wilmington.
Yeah,
So one of
yeah.
my baby moms is dark skinned, which is she has my girls. My other baby mom that I live with, she has my boys. But like I'm around my boys every day. I see them. I live with them. But it's more important for me to see my girls, not only because I don't look, they're girls. There are certain things that they need to know. And then there's certain things that my boys need to know. I have to be around. They have to know this is how you conduct yourself, or this is how you move around this space.
Yo, both of them need you equally. But listen,
Exactly.
what the brother said? Yeah, whoever claiming black, I feel should be a part of the movement. If you claiming black for real, and you obligated and your allegiance is to the cause, then I feel like you rocking out. But if you 1 foot in, 1 foot out, or you just doing it when you want,
Well, did you see the so they got a movement in Philly. They got a movement, it's definitely in New York for hell yeah, it been there. And they got another one down south somewhere where like it's black guys that come together. Like they all educated. They got concealed carry, they got all their gun licenses and they like shut down shit. Like, and I'm not saying, they kind of like a Black Panther kind of situation, but it's like the education because I think it takes a community. Like my stepdad is African. He always said it takes a whole village to raise a child, and I never understood what he talked about until I got older, because I might have to go to work, but you ain't got work that day. Can you teach my child? Like, and I trust you. I'm saying, and this is not like a fucking stranger. I trust you. I know you. We know each other. We on the same page. Can you teach the children what I can't teach today because I got to go to work, and I know you got to go to work the next day. Like, I think the community. I think we have to build a better community. Like I think pro black
But
is a
see,
saying until we build a better community for everybody. Not everybody, for the people that's like-minded to be on the same page.
Yeah, yo, see, bro, you driving down the path because I was going to ask you because you said you one of those people. You identified yourself as being one of those people who don't have the means, right? And I was just about to
No, I
say,
got the means.
what do you-
I'm not. I didn't
oh, okay,
identify.
cool.
I was just allocating for people that might be on the same path that don't have the means. Like I can make that happen. I don't give a fuck if I go to work
Hmm.
or not. That don't mean shit to me. I can come home and we look.
Hmm.
We in it to win it. You gonna figure it out. You gonna learn what I know.
Hmm.
But I
Yeah,
understand
because
what
I
you.
was
I
gonna say,
understand.
man.
But go ahead. Can you
Yeah.
please finish your statement?
Yeah, because what I was gonna say, you got 4 children, man. That's a dope situation, man, because you could homeschool your kids and they can, grow together. And with your daughters, you can now with online, you can conduct an online session and having teaching them simultaneously with your other 2 kids. You know what I'm saying? So it don't have to
Yeah.
be a
See, that's
separate
smart
thing.
too.
You
Right.
can coordinate it as one thing. I would like to see something like that happen, and even if you needed the help with it, I'll be more than willing to help you out with figuring out what are the guidelines and the rules for your state and where you can get the material and support. Because I think that your willingness says a whole lot about where you can go from here.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even think about it like that. That's extremely damn. Yeah. See, that's why like a lot of times when I get on this app, it's not the I don't like everybody else, every club shit I get in, they talking shit, doing all this rambling. I like to
They
educate.
they not pro black.
Yeah. They not, and that's what it is. That's it's you pro woman, you pro men, you pro whatever the fuck else, but y'all not talking about nothing. Y'all not giving no solution. Cause like
When
I ain't
you
gonna
when
lie
you
to you.
pro black, you gonna lift up everybody. Go ahead, brother.
Yo,
Oh yeah, no, you good. And like brother that was just talking. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I've never thought of that. Like I've never like my kids all learn individually. I teach them what I teach them, and my kids are very young. Like I'm way younger than y'all, I'm pretty sure. So, but like I never thought about, okay, everybody get on this motherfucking Zoom, this motherfucking FaceTime, whatever the case is, and we gonna do this shit together. Everybody, we doing it all. Y'all gotta take an hour, 2 hours out y'all day. This is about to happen. I never even thought about that.
And it's gonna stick more. Word
Yeah,
up.
never thought
Yeah,
about that.
yeah, man. Yo, you know something that stuck with me? You remember? I'm sorry, D, because I know you want to get in there. Y'all remember that movie, The Crow? And in
Yeah,
that
yeah,
movie,
yeah,
The
yeah,
Crow,
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember not the newer ones, but the
The
old
old one,
one.
the
You know what
old
I'm
one.
saying? With Bruce Lee Kid. Yeah, with Bruce Lee's son. But I remember in that movie, it stuck with me for years when he said to that mother, he said, mother is the name of God in the eyes of children. You know what I'm saying? Go home and take care of your kids. Because kids don't know nothing else but the leadership that stands before them. That's a powerful thing. And if your kids will, don't you think your kids will respect you more if they got all of their guidance and education from you? And it was the right thing. You know what I'm saying? It was righteous. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? We do it in different ways, but it just imagine if that structure came from home. Now here's a cool thing about if they already integrated into the current school system. If they already integrated current school system, then they understand it'll be easy for you to implement certain levels of structure, right? Because they know they got to go to school between this time and this time. They know lunches at this time. They know certain levels of discipline must be added. And in the social part, you already know how to handle that. When you're talking this sense of community, so it's actually a lot easier than most people think it is. It's because they already understand these systems and the importance of them. But now it's coming from you and not some outsider, you know what I'm saying? You the first person they look at for leadership, for discipline, for organization, for all of the things that you want to implement in their life to make them better humans.
Yeah, and I think that, and that, like to clarify too, because like I feel like even you just explaining it again, I feel like that's so fucking dope. Because look, my kid, I got 4 kids. Like I said, none of my kids, they're not going to school until uh the next season. You feel what I'm saying? After summer. None of my kids have touched first grade yet. But they all know me. They're very intelligent. They understand what I'm saying. So I
That's
can
power,
definitely
man.
get them early. Like I can get them early. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's power, man. You can, yeah, man, because they looking to you for everything. But I would look into your state to see what the qualifications are. And you're doing early childhood education, so that's cool. You're already a parent, and as long as you don't got no cases or nothing against you, you shouldn't have to go through no other extra training in terms of, that type of stuff.
So I
It should
don't
be a lot easier, man. And mostly,
for
you
my
might be
state
in your
personally
community
it's gonna be
anomaly. You might, what'd you say?
oh my bad. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I say you might be an anomaly because in most cases with homeschooling, it's a lot of women doing it, more than the men. So you might be a trendsetter and get more brothers involved. And once you get involved, you're probably gonna find out about other people that are actually doing it in your community that you might not be aware of, other organizations, and be able to collaborate with them and fine tune it to fit your household. So, man,
Yeah,
I
and I
encourage you, bro. I hope this is a spark for you.
thank you, bro. I ain't gonna lie to this. And my thing is this I got like I said, I got two baby moms. One of them, she definitely do her thing, but like, now that she not with me, she wanna go live her life. Okay, that's cool. Do whatever you wanna do. My kids, my daughter, they need to know more information than what they know. Cause they know or not. They smart enough, they gonna be cool. They pass great, they can do whatever they want. My son, I just asked my son just came up to me. He said, Dad, I said, what's up, nigga? He like, yo, what's 400 and something? He said a crazy number, like 457 times 17. I said, I don't know. I'll put that in my calculator. He told me the answer. I said, whoa, hold on, brother. So then I start testing him like by myself. Yo, what's nine tens? I don't even say times. What's nine tens? What's da da da? What's the he answering everything. He can read everything, he can do everything. And I'm like, yo, my girl's not on that level. I need them to be on that type time. Nah, y'all gotta be on the same type time. Y'all brothers and sisters. That don't make sense. Y'all gotta be on the same type time. Like obviously one might be smarter, but nah, y'all not only close to the level that he at. I'm like, nah, that don't make sense. And he's younger than my oldest. And I'm like, nah, hold on. I gotta secure that household as well. Because what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
So I
That
definitely
connection may make it easier. They'll influence each other.
yeah, that's what
Gee,
I'm
what
saying.
you were
I
saying,
definitely
man?
would do what you said. Like I literally when you just said it, I literally just texted my girl's mom. Like I literally just texted her when you said it. I said I got an
I
idea. She
can't
said,
with
"What
you,
is it?"
Sasha.
I'm about to tell her, "Yo, look, once a day, hour at least, 2 hours max. Everybody get on the call. We got to get everybody together. Fuck all that."
My
Yeah,
God,
that's
you make me
beautiful, bro.
laugh
I'm
so
glad it's
much. I
working out.
forgot what I was friggin' looking for in my
See,
phone.
you opened the mic. I thought you was gonna say
Yeah, I
something.
was about to say it's important, like how the
I'm
brother
like,
said,
I
like
got
that
it so fucking out
generations
hear
and
you.
us use like apps like this to have these type of conversations where it's not so much. You see how we just talking and we just kicking it because it all it takes is you saying one thing for somebody that never even thought about it to spark the idea and then for them to keep it going. And I think a lot of times we spend so much time talking about things that don't really matter or things that happen already that's history and everybody's trying to make it
I
like
really
fact
don't.
now
I
that
need to stop
it still
smoking
should be this
weed.
way or whatever. And then you got
And
these young brothers that's
Aja,
out
I
here,
don't
trying to be
remember
better
what
for
the
their
hell.
families. And imagine them sitting in a
I
room
don't
and
remember
we
what the hell I
crashing
was
out
just
about
doing.
men and women or not raising kids or whatever or being pro
Just a
black.
little taste.
What all of that does
Sure.
that matter if you don't have a solution, as you always say at the end of it, Carlito? So I'm just sitting here now, like I'm like the goat of connecting
Well, don't
equipment
you
and
need
all that,
that
and
your
I had to just
seats? Don't you have to come and
reorganize my
interact with
desk.
your peoples?
But I have not been over here
And
doing
am I on
what I'm supposed
video
to be
here
doing with
eating?
all the equipment. I'm like when you said to him he can go online and like do like a like a video talking about it. Like that's something that I could do right now, and I could be really good at it. Just sitting here with people that need to learn how to connect their podcasts or whatever, and I can help that out at the same time learning my connection and being more intimate with it. So just letting y'all know that the conversation I've been listening while I'm over here plugging stuff in, but I definitely get it.
Let me go work.
Yeah, and it makes you can make a lot of bread doing these how-to videos. You would be surprised. 'Cause, it's funny because sometimes I'll be like, yo, I don't even really use this iPhone to the level that it could be used. So sometimes it be bugging me out because I'll be like, yo, let me find out how to do this or do that with the phone. And it's like I'm pretty savvy with tech, but it's like I still really just use it for the basics. Answer a call, send a message, whatever. But I'm like, I know these things have a lot more capabilities than I'm using it for. I mean, I use it for the editing and different things like that too. So, but I'm going into that because I'm saying like a lot of the videos that I went into for some of the more deeper tech stuff is some Indian dude who I can't even understand what he's saying. He's breaking it down and he's getting into it, but I'm like, yo, he might as well just speak in his native tongue because I don't even know what he's talking about. But you can see the numbers. The numbers show that there are a large percentage of people who are coming to him for basic information. So it's like, how do I turn my alarm on for some basic stuff that you might sort of neglect the fact that you think everybody knows it because you know it, but it's actually not that way. There are tons of people out there seeking the knowledge that you take for granted. So yeah, man, I'll put some of those videos together, even if we don't go live. But it's very lucrative actually. And here's another thing: you can actually use the AI like we were talking about before to do a lot of that for you. You can do. There's some issues now, but you can do the faceless videos. You can create an avatar, have the avatar do it for you. So there's a lot of ways to get it done, even if you don't film step by step. But even if you wanted to start with writing a script on what you're doing right now, the task that you're doing and breaking it down. Yeah, man. Yeah, there's like I said, there's a benefits to it for everybody, the learner and yourself in terms of profiting from it.
You'll see what's going on.
See what's good, man. Yeah, I thought the same thing. I was
Also,
asking the same thing.
I want to interrupt, man. You guys were talking. Um, I yeah. I mean, I guess the topic changed now, but
But now you
oh,
can go on the pro black. I mean, they were just talking at this. It was still along the same lines. But yeah, you can go ahead.
I think for me and my